Oh man. What is up, guys? How we doing? That was something. Yeah. Yeah, Puka Nacua is him. I'm excited. I hope you guys are ready for a long stream, because I am. Especially because it was a 1 o'clock game. I went live on Bleacher Report. Those of you who are over there, appreciate you. Appreciate you guys watching. Those of you who've been waiting patiently, appreciate you. Hope everyone is well. Those of you on Kick, those of you on YouTube, you guys are awesome. Let me see here. I do not have the YouTube chat going for whatever reason. In my, let's see here. What's going on? I'm trying to figure this out. Because I want to be able to see you guys. That's kind of a big deal, you know? So, what are we doing here? YouTube chat. There you go. Okay. All right, now we got it. Guys. Man, what a game. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk a lot. And we still have no idea, like, what's up. We have no idea what's going to happen, right? We still don't know anything about Stafford, all of that. Hopefully my mic sounds fine. I don't know what's going on with this. How about that? How about that game? How about Puka Nacua? How about Matthew Stafford, you know, just lugging along with whatever he was dealing with? I don't know if it was a leg. I don't know if it was a hip. I don't know if it was both. I don't know if it was a knee. But you got to give a lot of credit to, first off, early on in the game, I think you could really tell that this was going to be the Puka Nacua show. I thought he was going to get 200 yards. I think the only reason he didn't is because Stafford got banged up. Like, I'm just being honest. So that's what I saw anyway. What a game. They dominated the first half, right? I mean, we can all admit they had dominated the first half. They ended up getting up 23-0. They gave up 23 unanswered, and then they won in the end. We've seen these happen so much. We've seen these games never go the Rams' way. I mean, they had a 98% win percentage at one point. Something crazy. It was like 98%. It actually went all the way down to the Colts' favor. At one point, it was Colts. It dipped to the Colts, and then the Rams, it obviously goes up to 100. The Rams had a 50% win percentage up until that last play. But yeah, just this is one of those reminders where, and this is why, like I saw on Twitter, there were people like, hey, I want to win in a blowout. Where's my scoring? I want to score more. Why aren't we scoring? This is the NFL. Sometimes you have a really good game plan. You have a really good idea of what you want to do, how you want to approach it. And sometimes things slam the door in your face. The Rams, what they were trying to do was play ball control, run the clock down, and just play a balanced style game. You have a 20-point lead. They didn't believe the Colts could score 20 or more than 20. So they felt pretty good about running out the clock, kicking a couple field goals, making it 26-0, whatever, 29-0. Unfortunately, there were 2 missed field goals. Is the entire game on the backs of Brett Maher? No. But is he going to get blamed for it? You bet you he is. So here's the thing, okay? I just want to say, first and foremost, this is not easy, okay? It's not easy to win in the NFL. There's a reason why it's so impressive how teams are able to just win 10 games. It's enough to get into the playoffs some years. Sometimes it's 9. It's not easy to win in this league. And this year especially, who are the big dogs this year? It kind of feels like we don't even know still in week 4. Everyone was anointing Dallas. I don't think Dallas is a big dog. I don't. They're up 10-3 on New England in the second quarter. Okay, I don't care what they do to New England today. I still don't think they're a big dog. Why am I bringing this up? My point is, it's not easy to win in this league. You can't take any win for granted. And you can look at this as, oh, they failed and all that. Fernando and Monty, appreciate the super chats. Monty, let's effing go. Jake, I'll take that W over an L any day. Puka, appreciate the 5, Monty, and I agree with you. This is exactly how I feel. And then Fernando, Hoyt needs to stop being in coverage. The Rams defense gave up too many points. Shake my head. I don't know what to say about this game. It was sloppy again. McVay playing conservative, bit them in the ass. It didn't because they won. And that is really, it's survive and advance. That's how it is. I mean, look at it in terms of, college basketball, March Madness. No one's sitting there like, man, I wish I won by 14. It's about how you win. If you win, you move on. And the NFL, it's not college football. And today was a reminder of that. Because I'll tell you right now, college football is Saturday. We just watched all these teams try to run up the score because that's the way the culture is. It's why I can't stand it, if I'm being honest with you. I can't stand that. The idea of every game meaning something, regardless of score. Everyone wants points. Everyone wants their favorite team to win by a lot. No doubt. I want a lot of touchdowns. I want my fantasy teams to do well. I want my bets to hit. I get it. But you can't take this game for granted. They're 2-2 without their best offensive player, and a lot of people said they were going 0-4. There were people that said tank for Caleb. There were people that said tank for Marvin Harrison Jr. Well, now, because Cooper Kupp was out, and this is why I said hold him out as long as he needs, you get to find out who these guys really are. And what we've seen through 4 games, Kyren Williams has stepped up into a starting caliber running back. He had 100 yards today in his 3rd ever start in the NFL. Okay. Quintana, appreciate the 5. Thank you so much. So Kyren, 3rd ever start, goes over 100, 25 carries, 2 touchdowns. He has 6 touchdowns on the season. So that's what we're seeing, right? Then you have Puka Nacua, this 5th round rookie who people just didn't really watch. I didn't even finish my report on him. I had so much work to do. I literally scouted like 40 receivers, and I could not finish my scouting report on Puka. I liked him, but I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I thought he was going to be amazing. No. And Sean McVay isn't either, because when they asked him, what they thought, they're like, he thought he was going to be a good one, but no one could have expected this. And he's right. No one could have expected this. But you know how you find this out? By playing him. See, we talk all the time on this channel about the broken quarterback ecosystem in the NFL, the young quarterback ecosystem, how they don't develop talent, all that. That's still true. I'm not saying it's not. But what we also fail to mention is that receiver's not exactly a plug-and-play easy position to play. Okay? Neither is corner. Neither is any position as a rookie. Thank you for subscribing, Leo. Appreciate you. The point I'm making here is that Puka Nacua, what he is doing cannot be understated enough. Like, it is so impressive. David, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate you. You can't stress this enough. Puka Nacua is one of the best receivers in football right now. This isn't a fluke. When Cooper Kupp comes back, he might not have the same production, but thank you, Brad. I appreciate it. That is not because Puka Nacua is not good enough to have that. It's because there's only so many targets to go around. But what we don't know is what if, Jared, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate you. What if, guys, and we have not really thought about this, what if Puka Nacua gets even better? What if Cooper Kupp just makes the offense better and the offense stays on the field more? Dante, thank you for subscribing. Think about that. Instead of thinking about how is Puka going to work? Overstated. Thank you, Ken. A lot of words here, sometimes, I'll misspeak like that. Appreciate you, mister. Thank you. So my point here is that the Rams have now found out that Matthew Stafford is still this guy, okay? We don't know what the injury is going to be. We don't know if he's going to continue to play, all that, okay? We don't know. We don't know what the injury is. He was not healthy. This was a gutsy performance. This is one of the most, aside from the playoff games, this is the most impressive win of Stafford's career outside of the playoff games. I'm going to say that right now because they dominated this game and they almost lost because everything they did and how they set the table when he went down, it unfortunately backfired because now all of a sudden you're getting 3 and outs. You're getting an interception that's not your fault because you're not able to step into the throw. Now you have a defense that's good, that is, pinning their ears back, and they might even run blitz now because they know that your quarterback can't drop back. So it made things really one-dimensional, which made it harder on Stafford. So I think this is an incredible win for Matthew Stafford. I think this is an incredible job by Sean McVay. I said this on Bleacher Report. Look, people are going to hound Sean McVay. It's going to happen. I hounded him last week or last game, but I think I was justified. He only ran the ball 10 times. I think Kyron Williams had 14 carries at the half. So that is cool. I like that. And we'll dive more into that. And then I'm going to bring callers on as well. So if you guys are in the Discord waiting, I haven't looked at the Discord yet. This is the second live stream I'm doing. I will definitely get to you guys that are waiting in the Discord. And if you aren't waiting in the Discord yet, now I'll be bringing callers on. So I intend to do that. But I do want to get through all of this. So the thing about, the reason why I'm defending Sean McVay here is because I understand people are going to say he was playing not to lose. He was being conservative. He's calling the games, all that. Fine, whatever. He was dealt a bad deck with the Stafford thing. I liked what he was doing. But most importantly, I think there's something more here. Like, I think he learned from his mistake. Now, I'm ready to get hurt again, okay? Like, you ever see that meme with Michael Scott of The Office? I'm ready to get hurt again. That's how I feel. I'm ready to get hurt again because I'm willing to say straight up that Sean McVay is not going to have a game like that ever again that he had on Monday Night Football. And I'm going to say real bold here, they needed that Bengals loss. They needed that Bengals loss. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say. I don't care. I think they needed that Bengals loss. And the reason I say that is because I think that was the wake-up call to Sean McVay. I think that was the wake-up call. Hey, you need to start running the ball. Like it's non-negotiable now. And what you saw today was that they ran the ball against a decent run defense. This is not a bad run defense like last week. This is a decent run defense with a really good bunch of players. And they ran it well with Kyron Williams and with Ronnie Rivers, and their starting left tackle was out. So also factor that into the equation here. The starting left tackle was out. So I think that's an important thing that we can't forget. It's not easy to win games when you lose your starting left tackle before the game. However, Noteboom came in, was excellent. Okay. I haven't watched the All-22 yet, obviously. We'll get into that. Also, be sure to follow on kick.com/JKBogan. I'll drop a link in the comments there. The reason being is because I'm going to break down the All-22. I do it every week on that platform. That'll be probably Thursday, around that. So I will be breaking down the All-22 over on Kick. And you guys on Kick, if you haven't already, I'm also on YouTube. So if you didn't know that, I'm everywhere. But point being, I haven't watched the All-22 yet. Okay, so I don't know exactly how it went down. But what I saw in the moment, the offensive line was as good as you could ask for. This is a really good defense. Let me just say that right now. The Colts have a really good defense. They got guys like Zaire Franklin. Juju Brents looked really good in coverage. Julian Blackmon is an absolute stud of a safety. Dio Odenigbo, he had 1.5 sacks. And, I mean, he's the guy that kind of banged up Stafford there on the hit. Kenny Moore, we know what he is. He's one of the best slot corners in all of football. Dallas Flowers, I hope he's okay. He suffered a non-contact injury. He was outstanding in this game. He might have been the best player on the field today outside of Puka Nacua. He was unbelievable in coverage. He shut down Tutu Atwell. I'm going to be honest with you. Samson Ebukam, he had a good game. EJ Speed, Shaq Leonard. They have all sorts of guys. DeForest Buckner. I mean, Kwity Paye didn't do anything today. And the reason being is because of how well the offensive line played. I had my concerns. I had my moments where I was like, all right, I don't love this. But they did everything they could, considering. And they were really good. I thought Kevin Dotson making his Rams debut is exactly why Les Snead went out and got him before the season. That guy was plug and play. When you talk about a plug and play guard, we use that term nauseating amount of times. That is a plug and play guard right there, Kevin Dotson. And he was at Louisiana Lafayette. He's why he was my 5th rated guard in that draft. I loved Kevin Dotson. So I loved the move. And I watched Kevin Dotson with the Steelers, and they changed their blocking scheme, and he fits like a glove in this Rams offense. Steve Avila. I mean, you got to mention the rookie. He's been awesome. When there's pressure coming towards Stafford, if you notice, it's almost always on the right side. Like, Avila has been locked down. Now, obviously, last week it was the left side. Zach Thomas, he sat the bench this week. But, man, just a lot of emotions because this game looked like it could have been a blowout. There were some things taken away. There were some bad penalties. I thought all in all, I thought Land Clark had a good game. I thought the officiating was pretty good. I think they missed some things, but considering what we've seen in the past in the last officiating crew, I'll take that any day. They finally called a hold on Aaron Donald. Couldn't believe that. But they did take away an Aaron Donald strip sack, so that was kind of frustrating. But Ernest Jones, see, what I was so impressed with, wow, there were so many things I was impressed with. That's actually kind of the funny thing about this game. Both teams are 2-2, and I think both teams should be 2-2. I think this is what they are. I think the Colts are a good football team. I think people are looking way too much into where they picked last year in the draft or this year in the draft. I think they're a good football team. I think the Rams went toe-to-toe on the road, short week and all. They came out looking like the better team for a half, and then they had a mishap where Stafford got banged up. It changed the way they had to play. The Colts, they did what they did, and at the end of the day, the Rams were the better football team. They rallied through it. They went right through the face of adversity, and they won this game. But hats off to the Colts. I think the Colts are legitimate. I think the Colts, this is a good win. I think this is one of those wins we'll look back on and we'll appreciate a little bit more. And I think it's still being appreciated. I can see the comments section with you guys. You guys are definitely happy about the win and you love it. I think it's just what was at stake. You don't want to go 1-3 and then go back home facing, the defending NFC champion Eagles. That's not a good situation. So I felt like they had to win this game for more than one reason. I think they went all in on Stafford. I hope he's going to be okay, guys, because people will ask me, hey, did you see McVay's presser? Man, you're seeing me before I see most people. I'm not texting most people back. I'm talking to you guys. So I would ask you guys if you saw McVay's presser. And if you guys have seen me first, then that kind of answers both of our questions there. But no, I appreciate you guys being here, and I'm excited to get to talk with you and have you guys on, calling in. But I don't know. Maybe I'm over the top with it, but I'm not looking at this like they blew a 23-point lead. I'm looking at this like they literally held off a 23-point comeback on the road on a short week against an absolute game breaker of a young quarterback that had every single counter to what Raheem Morris is throwing at him, against the team that had a really tough defense, and against a team without Cooper Kupp, without Alaric Jackson, their left tackle. That's how I'm looking at it. Stafford wasn't 100% at the end of the game. He was probably 50%. What he was able to do was incredible. What McVay was able to do was incredible. I just got to give a hats off to the Rams for getting this win done. Okay? And if you want to look at it a different way, I'm not gatekeeping that. That's the great thing about being a fan, right? That's why when I have people that call in, we don't always agree on things. But it's cool because discourse, and at least a healthy, dose of discourse, not some of the Not some of the toxic crap you'll see on Twitter every now and then, but healthy discourse is good. It makes us smarter. I've learned stuff from you guys, whether you realize it or not. I've changed up things I do. I change a thing that I do editing wise. I've changed up my, heads up display overlays. I changed up, the game plan going in, like how I wanted to, do previews for teams. I've changed it. I used to do it a different way, and some people were like, do it this way. And I was like, all right. So I listen. And I think it's important, to do that. I think, really what it comes down to is we always do the JE ramble at the beginning, but then I have people on. So it's normally about 20 to 30 minutes of me rambling, but it's also my, rapid reaction. But chat, now I've been able to take a break, or a breather, if you will. I want to know, in all seriousness, okay, I want to know where you would rank Puka Nacua as of right now. All the receivers in the league, where are you putting Puka Nacua? Is it that unfair to say that he's a top 20 receiver? Because I'll tell you right now, a rookie receiver that he reminds me of, and he is not at all right? But just his ascension and how it was like Justin Jefferson. I haven't seen this type of rookie wide receiver play since Justin Jefferson, who some would say is the best receiver in all of football. I think he's already top 20, top 15. I think that's fair. Great route runner. He's always getting open. He breaks tackles. He's clutch as all hell. When you talk about a rookie, I mean, look at this. Look at what he's doing right now. 163 yards, 9 catches, and a touchdown. 9 of 10 targets. And he waited to catch his first touchdown in the NFL regular season. I know he caught one in preseason from Stetson Bennett. He waited to catch his regular season first ever career touchdown to win the game in overtime. I mean, we all knew that ball was going to Puka Nacua. The announcers pointed it out, but we knew it before. We knew Puka Nacua was going to have that touchdown. We knew it was coming to Puka Nacua. We knew it. We knew it. That's just the way it was going to be. It's the way it had to be. So, I don't know, man. I think he is... I think he's legit. I don't think this is smoke and mirrors. Let's just, real quick. Puka Nacua, in his first 4 games, right? He's got 119 yards on 10 receptions week 1. Week 2 against the San Francisco defense, he goes for 15 catches, 147 yards. Then against Cincinnati, a dead game. I mean, we're talking the offense was just running in place. 5 catches for 72 yards. That's his down game. His down game was going over 70 yards as a rookie. You got to be kidding me. And then this week, week 4, 163 on 9 catches and a touchdown. He's had at least a 20-yard grab. So he's winning. And this is the great thing. This is a determining factor here. He's not just a short guy. Like, he's not just a short and intermediate guy. He is winning deep down the field. He's winning in the short game. He's winning in the intermediate game. And you see it. Longest in week 1, 21 yards. We'll take it. Longest in week 2, 20 yards. Longest in week 3, 37. Longest in week 4, 32. He's had 4 straight games in which he's had at least a 20-yard reception. He started off the damn game against the Colts with the tip. I thought it was a little bit of an overthrow by Stafford, and he tipped it to him. He tipped it to himself. This guy just plays on a different level we have not seen. He's better than Cooper Kupp was as a rookie, and that's not that hot of a take. Cooper Kupp was not this as a rookie. And if you don't believe me, I'll literally bring up Cooper Kupp's stats right now because this is our show. If we don't know it off the top of our head, we don't make stuff up. We'll just look it up. It's right there. So let's look. Game logs, career. What did Cooper Kupp have in his first 4 games? Cooper Kupp's first 4 games, he had 14 receptions for 186 yards and 2 touchdowns. So Kupp beats him with the touchdowns. But his per game averages, he was averaging 3.5 receptions for 46.5 yards and a 0.5 touchdown. Like, and that's not hating on him. That's admitting, like, this is a good rookie receiver line. To be through 3 games and have almost 200 yards, 4 games, have almost 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, 14 receptions as supposed third option, that's good. But no. Puka Nacua has gone to another stratosphere as a rookie. Like, he's already set himself up where next week he'll have the most receiving yards and receptions for a rookie in their first 5 games just going into the game. He just continues to, this is unreal, guys. We have not seen anything like this. So, I mean, again, we don't know what's going to happen with Stafford. We don't. I'll just say this, though. I can't believe the Rams drafted him as the 4th guy in their 5th round. They had 4 5th-round picks, and he was the last pick. That's crazy. Well, he's ended up becoming, these first 4 games, ain't a fluke, folks. It's the real deal. Puka Nacua, everybody. All right, guys, so if you follow on Discord, if you're in our Discord channel, if you're not, I'm going to start Swizzleberry. Everyone drop a W right now in the chat. Swizzleberry with the 10 gifted over on Kick. Appreciate you. Oh, man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Really appreciate you, man. That's just, wow. That's awesome stuff, guys. Man. So I am going to drop, this is the Discord. If anyone wants to call in, that is the Discord link. Okay? You're going to go to the waiting room when you enter the Discord, and I'm going to bring you in one by one. So that's how we're going to do it. That way, it's in a nice, orderly fashion. Nothing crazy, That's how we're going to do it. So, yeah. I'm going to hop in this call-in. As you can see, my name popped up. And now we will bring on people. So, Eric was the first one I saw jump into the waiting room. So, Eric will be the first one. 19? Swizzleberry, appreciate you with the 19 gifted, my friend. Good Lord. I really appreciate that, man. Eric, you are on JE Live. How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm feeling a little antsy, Jake. That was not a fun game to watch in the second half, but it all paid off. I always call these guys the cardiac Rams because they always freaking give me heart attacks every week. No matter how good they are, no matter how bad they are, even when we're had Jeff Fisher playing those 49er games in overtime, like I was just, it's still. How you doing, Jake?
Oh man, well I'll tell you this. I always say this as a joke. If I ever question my fandom, it's always a reminder that I definitely care for this team when my heart starts actually beating almost out of my chest. That's a good reminder. Like, yo, no, you're a diehard. Like, if it's actually affecting your heart rate, that's all you need to know.
The last drive in the Super Bowl against the Bengals, I was sitting down watching the game. I wasn't moving. Our last drive we had, when Stafford threw the no look to Kupp and everything, sitting down, my heart rate was 160.
Oh my God.
I wasn't even moving.
Good Lord,
Oh
man.
man. Yeah.
It,
I couldn't.
it's how you know. If you ever felt like maybe like anybody, this goes out to anybody. If you're like, I don't know if I actually like this team, or like I thought I liked this team, but maybe I don't. Maybe I'm trying to force myself to. That's the number one thing. That's how I knew I liked every team that I like. So how I knew I liked 2 hockey teams, because I didn't realize I liked the Devils until I started having those like, it doesn't happen the same way as the Rams because I don't have an affinity for hockey the way I do football. But man, like any team where you're doing that, it's either I'm about to lose a lot of money if this goes south, or you're a diehard fan. And yeah, I'm definitely wasn't about to lose a lot of money if it went south. It was more about obviously the fandom. I did win, a bunch of money there with the Donald sack. I don't know if you saw that tweet. I put it out there. It was in the article I wrote on Turf Show Times. They had Donald 0.25 sacks. I took the over plus 130 on DraftKings. I was like, that's ridiculous. So I took that in a heartbeat.
That's crazy to think that he wouldn't even have half a sack.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and I thought he should have gotten the sack because, you know what, they ruled it a fumble and then an advancement of the fumble. But when there was a bad snap to Richardson and he fell back, like he still had, like he had control of the ball. He didn't dive on the football. So I thought Donald should have, like, that should have counted as a sack. Like he's gotten a sack for like Kyler Murray doing that,
I'm surprised he didn't count that as a sack.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he hit him.
Did they count Ernest Jones like pushing?
They did.
Richardson out? Okay.
Yeah, no, they counted that as a sack. All right, so now we got a bunch of people showing up in the waiting room. So I'm going to ask you the gauntlet. 3 questions here. Mm-hmm. First thing, I guess I was going to say player of the game, but that would probably be Puka Nacua. So, yeah, I mean, I know everyone's going to say that. All right, so let's start off with this. How are you feeling going into week 5? Do you feel better about the Rams following that Bengals loss and now this win? Or do you feel the same, or do you feel like worse? Like, where are you right now?
So I definitely feel better because the O-line put out one hell of a performance with Nobu moving back out to left tackle and Dotson being the guard. They looked great against a really good Colts D-line and pass rush. Even when Stafford was like crippled for like a quarter, they were still protecting with good time. And Stu Jackson just tweeted like 6-7 minutes ago that Stafford was asked if the hip injury will keep him out in week 5, and Stafford said, "Oh, you don't have to worry about that. I'll be out there." So I mean, I think me personally, I think Stafford's probably one of the greatest of all time playing while injured. Like the only other guy I can think of is Kurt Warner, who played like with broken ribs in the Super Bowl. So I'm really happy with this team. I like the direction they're going in. The O-line looks great. I don't know if Alaric Jackson's coming back next week, but shoot, I'll be happy rolling with Boom and Dawson again. And Kyron Williams looked great. They ran my boy Ronnie Rivers. He looked great in his runs. So I think we're looking a lot better.
No, that's great news about Stafford. I just actually saw in the chat people were saying Jake Stafford said he's going to play. He is. Can we call him Megatron? Is that sacrilegious?
He can be Optimus Prime.
Yeah, what the hell? I mean, that dude could barely walk, and he didn't come out of the game. Brett Rippon did not see a snap. I mean, that's. I don't know how I felt necessarily. Well, I do know how I feel. I wasn't a fan of not taking him out and just running the ball. But the way I saw it, and I'm sure it's the way a lot of people saw it, you already have him in there. Like, you've had him in there long enough where now he can barely move. So now you have to ride the wave. You've already gone all in on this. So you have to win this game. You can't put Rippon out there and have him throw a pick. Because I can tell you right now, I don't know if you forgot, I did not. The last time the Rams played at Lucas Oil against the Colts, Carson Wentz, they knocked him out at the end of the game. And then Jacob Eason came in and threw an interception. I'm like, are we about to get karma? Is this about to be a karma, game? Like, is this what's going to happen? Rippin's going to have to come in. He's going to throw a pick six and lose the game. Like, am I really watching karma happening right before our eyes? But no, that's not what happened. Speaking of Wentz, by the way, I'd like them to pick him up. What are your thoughts on the quarterback position? Do you think they need to go out and get anybody, or do you think they should just stick with Rippin and not worry about getting anybody in the quarterback room?
Yeah, I'm really, really, really happy you brought this whole subject up. I'm happy you brought up Rippin because that was going to be my exact next point. When I saw Rippin warming up, man, I felt sick.
Oh, dude, I was nauseous.
I do not want Rippin in this game, like in any game. I don't think he has any upside. He can't scramble really. His arm talent isn't amazing. Like, I felt sick. I do think we need to, like, that made me think we need to get a quarterback immediately. I would feel better having Austin Davis as our backup right now than Brett Rippin.
I miss Austin Davis. He'd actually make things happen.
Yeah.
No, I feel that. Are you for Wentz? Like, are you for, like, I know a lot of people don't like him. I'm Team Wentz all the way. I think 27-7 2 years ago.
I would love to have Wentz because McVay, like Wentz. The problem with Wentz is he'll make bad throws, bad plays. But the thing with McVay is if you have an athletic side to you, like he had with John Wolford that one game against the Cardinals, and had with I can't remember his name all of a sudden, but the our third string from last year, he can design some stuff. McVay can design a lot of motion, a lot of RPOs, make the game easy on Carson Wentz. Wentz has a good arm, so I would like Wentz. Bryce Perkins. The chat got me.
Oh yeah.
I would like Wentz. I would like Colt McCoy because Colt McCoy is like kind of like Brett Rippin, just way smarter, and I think he's a bit more accurate. I would like any of those guys on the free agency. Even if we can get like any of our old backups back, I can't remember any of them off the top of my head, but anybody besides Brett Rippin.
Yeah, no, I feel that, and it's sad. I loved Brett Rippin coming out of Boise State, but we know what he is now. He's not him. So last question here, because we got a lot of people, and I want to be sure to get to everybody I can. Are you at all concerned about the kicker position? The reason I'm bringing that up is because it seems like maybe I'm not addressing this enough, and I feel like for me, I feel like it's still a gamble to settle for field goals because it's not a guarantee, and we see that all the time. I personally don't have any issue with Maher missing 2 field goals. I would have liked to have him at least make one of those 2, but on the other side, Matt Gay missed a field goal, So I mean, we could do this all day. Where are you with the field goal room?
Yeah, like you said, Matt Gay missed a field goal. I don't know if the field or the footballs were great. I don't know if there was wind. I wasn't really paying attention to that. I think I've come to the conclusion, like a good hypothesis, if you may. Brett Maher cannot kick from the right hash. Like every single time they set the ball up to give him a field goal or for better field position, et cetera, they're getting it on the left hash. They're putting it down on the left hash, or if he kicks from the middle, he's fine kicking from the middle. That kick from the right hash was really, really bad, and I don't recall him making a kick from the right hash this year. I might be wrong. I mean, I don't really remember the kicks all that well, but I do know that every single time they can choose, they have him kick from the left hash. But I wouldn't necessarily say I'm concerned. He has hit a good amount of his kicks, but if he can just get that right hash sorted out, it'd be a lot better because, like you said, it's not a guarantee that we'll even get the field goals. So playing for field goals when we can get touchdowns isn't always the best option for us.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think so. He was 9 for 11 going into this game, and now he is Wow, I can't even do math. 12 for. So he was 9 for 11, so 12 for 15.
15, yeah. 75, not 75.
Sorry, 12 for 16. So he's 12 for 16. I mean, yeah, I'd like him to be a little bit better. He's also attempting, and guys, this is important here. He's been automatic inside the 39-yard line. All right, he has. He has not missed anything inside the 39-yard line. He has missed 2 field goals, 50 plus, and he's missed 2 40 to 49. I don't know. I wouldn't worry about him. I don't think he's the problem. Don't kick as many field goals next time. You know, if five kicks to me, like he made 3 of them. Sometimes you're gonna have that. They're not a guarantee. So anyway,
I don't even think any other kicker on their like waiver wire would be better necessarily. Like the only other guy I guess could be Robbie Gold, but where even is kick power at this point?
Well, exactly. So it's not exactly like you can't just do that. You know what I mean? You can't just bench guys. So yeah. But yeah, no, Eric, appreciate you. I'm going to bring on some more people, but next time definitely stop through. I'll try to do a JE live before we have an actual game next week against Philly, but I'll let you guys know. But appreciate you, man.
Yeah, it's always great talking with you. Go Rams, go beat the Eagles.
Hell yeah.
Have a good day.
You too. Take care, man. All right, guys. Let's see. I don't know what order I'm going to bring anybody in because it doesn't really tell me. So I'm just going to bring in Joe here. Joe, how you doing? You're on JE Live.
Can you hear me, Jake?
Yeah, how's it going?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Knowing that they got the W, I'm good. How you doing?
Yeah, I know, man. Crazy game, man. What a W, though. It was a crazy, crazy game. I had a heart attack.
Yeah.
After we was up and they came back, I had a heart attack probably 5 times.
Not easy. It's definitely not easy to go through something like that. But that's how you know that you're a true fan. You know, it's like a reminder.
Yeah. 100%.
First question I'll ask you here.
Mm-hmm.
Going into this game, you know, they lose that Monday Night Football game. They win this the way they do. Are you more concerned, less concerned, or are you still kind of this? Are you feeling the same way you did after the Bengals game?
I don't think there's no way I could feel the same after the Bengals game. But I would say I'm more positive right now just because the people that I wanted to show up this game showed up. The O-line, especially. I do want to shout out Kevin Dodson, man. I was watching him closely this game. He was moving a lot of people, especially in the run game. He was moving a lot of people out the way. Steve, he's been consistently good. Rob is Rob, but all of them did really good today. I want to shout them out for real. And yeah, everything else went well. Puka, great as always. Stafford, the same thing. Van, I was proud of Van. He made some tough catches.
That one that he caught, the first. Oh my Lord! Did you see Coach Eric Yarbs? Oh my Lord!
Was happy. Yeah, he was happy for him, man. I'm happy for Van too, man, because the last 3 weeks he's looked out of it, but he made some tough catches today.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, that's the thing. It was a total team effort, and I think that's really what it comes down to. And you know, we could sit here all we want and say, oh, well, you know, I wanted this to be college football and I wanted them to run up the score. I want Stafford to have 4 touchdowns. It's not always going to work that way, you know? And so I'm just glad they got the win. Second question for you, quarterback situation. I'm big on going out and signing Wentz. Where are you on that?
I'm not really a Wentz guy for real because I think he's all over the place. But I get going for him because he's probably the best option that we probably could have right now. But Stafford's fine, I think, but you know the injury thing with him is kind of on and off. So I probably would go after another quarterback, and if it's Wentz, you know, just let it be. But you know, McVay showed Baker came in and won a game.
Yeah,
he just came in. Yeah, so if he could do it with Baker, not like Baker's terrible or anything, but if he could do it with Baker, he can probably squeeze the juice out of Wentz too. So I think if we go get a quarterback, and if it's Wentz, I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, you know, I think it's one of those things where, okay, you don't want to get Wentz because you don't want to put any sort of weird pressure or anything on Stafford or anything like that. You just don't want him in the building because you know he has starting experience. But At the same time, that moment where now all of a sudden, okay, Stafford's starting to show, hey, I'm a little banged up here. You know, like he's not going to sit himself down. So I think it definitely makes sense to go out and get that quarterback, have him learn the system. I thought the Jets made a mistake not picking him up as soon as Rodgers went down, and they're kind of, you know, facing that head on. Last question here for you, Joe, and you'll definitely have to come back on because I don't think I've talked to you yet on here. So you know, it's nice to talk with you, but this last question is about the kicker. I'm sure you heard, you know, everyone seems to be all over Maher, and I'm not. I guess my question for you is, should I be? Should I be concerned about Maher? I mean, I personally, 12 of 16 for the year is not an issue for me, but where do you stand on that? Joe, you there? Oh, Joe, you muted yourself, just so you know. I don't know how you did it, but you're muted. Game shows we need another edge rusher. Bad. I agree with that, Fernando. Thank you for the 5. Matthew, thank you for the 20. Appreciate you, man. I'm too old for this type of game. I just knew we had this game away. So proud of these bunch of guys. AD did his thing. Puka is just special. How about the awareness of Fuller, game ball, IMO? Appreciate you, Matthew. Yeah, crazy game. Boofy said Joe next. Love that guy. Oh, Joe, rejoin this. Yeah. Okay, there you are. Yeah, you were muted, so I don't know what's going on, but no, I was just asking you about the kicker situation. Should I be concerned?
Okay. The kicker situation, I don't know. Brett Maher, cool. Like, even in the playoffs last year, he was terrible. But I think he did go perfect last year. I don't know if that's correct, but I think or close to going perfect last year throughout the regular season. So maybe he just needs to, you know, get in rhythm early. But I think we're fine with Brett. I wouldn't want to try nobody else because that could be disastrous.
That's what I totally agree with you there. I don't think it's really an issue. I just Matt Gay missed a field goal. You know, like, I mean,
right.
So at the end of the day, you know, they both traded a miss. So then you look at it, okay, he was 4 for 5, we'll say, right? Or he was 3 for 4. I don't think that's enough to replace him. You replace a kicker if he just flat out can't hit 50-yarders, if he just flat out can't hit the short stuff. He struggles from the far right hash. That's about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the one thing that we know. So,
okay.
yeah, no, I hear you. But any final thoughts before I bring on another?
No, not really. It was a great game. I'm glad we came back. Sean, of course, has some things that he probably needs to clean up on, but at least we got the win. So I'm hoping we can go into Philly next week and get the upset, so we can, you know, be 3-2 and, you know, do what we got to do. Oh, and shout out to Discord too, man. I've been there for a while. It's a cool community.
I appreciate that. It just continues to grow. But hey, appreciate you, man. You'll have to come on next time, and yeah, hopefully we're talking about an Eagles loss.
Yep, of course, bro. Appreciate you, Jake.
Absolutely. You take care.
Yep, you too.
Garrett, how you doing?
What's going on, Jake? You hear me?
I hear you.
Yes, sir. Man, that was a game, huh?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, you know, they were just trying to make it exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I was getting too comfortable sitting there watching 23-0. So
yeah, no,
appreciate that for making the game.
The evolution where I went from eating pizza standing up at, you know, the breakfast bar to them being slouched over, you know, the chair, like like straight out of the video game meme where, all right, now I've sat up, like
yeah. Oh yeah,
it was game on.
Yeah.
So question for you to start here. Going into this game, because I don't know exactly how you felt about the Bengals game, whether you felt negatively, like, okay, this team's done. Like, everyone had different feelings about it, right? But regardless, did this game change any of those feelings? Is it the same? Did it make you feel worse about the Rams? Did it make you feel better about the Rams moving forward? By the way, Stafford did say he's going to play week 5 against Philly, so there's that as well.
Good to hear. I mean, getting a win obviously changes how you feel about the team, especially after the week we had last week. But I think, the unfortunate part about this was, especially looking at how the Bengals played today, it's just such a missed opportunity, that last week was. And, sitting up there 23-0, it's like, man, we could be sitting here 2-1, potentially going into into the Philly game 3-1. And then obviously, the tide shifted. And, just to eke out that win after such a horrible momentum shift and how bad that second half was going, it just makes me feel good about this team going into any week that we can beat anyone in this league.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what should be taken away here. The Rams on a short week went into Indy and they pounded them into the ground the first half, then dealt with some adversity with Stafford, getting nicked up. And then it got worse throughout the game, which stopped them from being able to throw consistently like they were doing and moving the chains, being forced to be more of a run-heavy offense, which now, keys in on the defense. And the defense was struggling because of it. Then you had those momentum swings. You have a game-breaking quarterback that was making every single adjustment and, just basically countering every single thing Raheem Morris threw at him. And you still came away with the win in overtime. I mean, it's hard to win games in overtime. It's really hard to win games in overtime when you don't have the crowd on your side.
Yeah, and especially if you're the Rams, it's hard to win games in overtime. Because I'm pretty sure, when was the last time we won an overtime game that wasn't, the NFC Championship?
I don't even know.
I can't remember.
I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, Raheem Morris, I know you're a big Raheem Morris guy. He's winning me back, but, the patterns that this team shows of this defense just plays lockdown, first half, once the offense is getting the ball rolling, you really start to feel like, oh, maybe this defense is, playing out of their mind. But then once that offense stalls, it's almost like there's a really weird correlation of, that you have to keep putting points on the board because, how Raheem Morris plays his defense, there's going to be soft spots and there's going to be those chunk plays and, they're just not going to be able to hold them. And I think that's what, was shown today, and especially in that second half. And same thing with that Bengals game last week is you just had this feeling of, if we're not putting points on the board, this defense is not going to be able to do this all game.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I like the way they responded. And I think the thing is, the defense has been, I think, the bright spot consistently up until this game. I think this is the first time where, and I still think the defense was really good. I just think down the stretch, they got caught slipping a little bit. But the second question I'm going to ask you here, with the quarterback spot, Stafford says he's going to play. Regardless, I don't care. I'm getting Carson Wentz in that building on Monday. Where are you on the quarterback situation? Would you sign anybody? And how would you deal with it?
I don't want to see Brett Rippon take the field. That's
okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I feel like I know Stafford's always the guy to just stay out there and tough out any injuries, but I think there was also this feeling on the Rams sideline of, if Brett comes into the game, we're done. So
yeah,
and I just, to me, that tells me that they're not confident in Brett Rippon coming in and leading this, what became somewhat of a simple offense in the second half. So yeah, I mean, I'm all for Carson Wentz. I know he has his issues, but I mean, hell, if anybody can correct them well enough, it's McVay. I mean, you just look at Baker Mayfield last year, and now he's the starting quarterback for a competitive Buccaneers team.
Exactly. And he fixed him, and I think they're 3-1 now, right? They won today, I thought.
They did. They dominated the Saints.
Yeah. So there you go. And I mean, on Wentz's side, he just wants to get a shot. So I'm sure he would take the deal. And also, they worked out Wentz. They ended up signing Rippon. No idea why. Maybe it was negotiations or something that broke and he was going to cost more. But yeah, I mean, they've already had Wentz work out in their facility. It would be interesting. I don't know. I think it'd make a lot of sense.
You know, Rippon had experience throwing to Rams players with Kobe Durant, so maybe that might have swayed them. But I still think Carson Wentz is something the Rams should definitely look into. And I know someone said Colt McCoy earlier, and I also think that's a great fit for a McVay offense. With Colt McCoy. So, you know, just anybody but Brett Rippon, please. Yeah,
I again liked him in college. He's not it in the NFL. I'm sorry. I know he's a Ram. If he went in there, I'd root for him, but I'd rather have it not get to that point. Nothing against him personally. I just don't know how well he can play football. But now we look. Final question here. I'm going to ask you. Didn't even think this was going to be a question, but now I see. I saw the comment section. People are going all off on Maher. Where are you on Maher? Because to me, Maher's fine. You're not going to get a perfect kicker. You literally waited until the last possible second to sign this guy. I think he's looked pretty decent. He missed 2 field goals today. I know that sucks. Don't settle for field goals next time. I don't know what else to tell you. But where are you on him?
I think you hit it on the money right there. Don't settle for field goals. And that's another thing with this offense. Just we penalties kill us in the red zone when we're driving, and then all of a sudden, boom, we have to settle for a field goal. I'm obviously disappointed with the performance from Brett Maher. I mean, obviously, yes, you can't expect a perfect kicker, but 2 missed field goals, which ended up being crucial field goals. It's not a confidence booster in him, especially after what he was coming off last season. But I'm not gonna get too upset about it because I know there's not gonna be a change. The Rams are not moving on from Brett Maher. You can only just hope that he fixes what was going on and start practicing from the right hash a little more maybe, and just hope that he starts becoming more consistent. Because even if you look at this year, the 2 missed field goals that he had this year, one was blocked and the other was like a 50, it was like a 54 yarder or something along those lines in the Seattle game. It's not a chip shot. So I think those are pretty forgivable today. Obviously a little bit of a different story, but I'm not going to get too mad about it because there's no change coming. Brett Maher's staying the kicker, and just hope that he's better in the future.
Garrett, I appreciate you. I agree with you. You've been a member since August 13th, 2018 on the Discord. So big shout to you. And yes, I know you're an OG supporter, so I just wanted to give that shout out. And I know Joe was as well, but I'm going to start moving forward. I'll start because I see it right there when you signed up. So I'll just give that shout out. But appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you too, Jake. Always looking forward to the Rams content, man.
Hey, absolutely. There'll be more coming throughout the week. I'm going into the city, New York City, on Tuesday. So that'll be the time where you have all sorts of trades. I'm sure they'll sign Wentz, and I won't be able to cover any of it, and I'll hate my life for a day. But yeah, appreciate you, man.
Of course, man. Take care and go Rams. Let's beat the Eagles.
Hell yeah, appreciate you. All right, let's see here. We got. Oh, it's not. Okay. Rampage, how you doing? Rampage, you there? I can't hear you that well.
Hold on a sec. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. What'd you think about the game?
Oh my God! Heart attack off after heart attack, man.
Yeah. I think, first off, Anthony Richardson could play in this league. I think for anybody that said that he's not going to work in the NFL, I think he showed you today he is. And yeah, he's heart attack inducing. The Rams can be heart attack inducing on their own. How are you feeling coming out of this game? Based on, obviously they lose on Monday Night Football in a game that I think we all can agree should have won. They had every opportunity to win. Are you feeling better after this game, worse, or just kind of the same?
Okay. Well, first of all, let me start with longtime listener, first time, calling in.
Appreciate you.
I watch your content all the time, dude. Like, I literally just downloaded Discord right 20 minutes after you got on just to talk to you. But I'm feeling neutral. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling neutral just because Matthew Stafford's hurt and we still don't know the extent of his injury. I know that you said that he talked to a reporter or something and he said he was gonna be okay for the next game, but I'm still worried about that. He's an older quarterback, so we'll see. But honestly, I'm glad we got the win. Like, I thought we did amazing during the first half, and I hope we keep it going. But no, it was just like an emotional roller coaster the whole time. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, they say it's a tale of two halves, and it really is, because I think the Rams, the first half, they couldn't have dominated that game more. Obviously getting extra points on the board, that would have helped, but they outplayed the Colts by such a wide margin that first half. The second half was a different story, and it kind of stems from that Stafford injury, right? I think...
Definitely.
Oh, go ahead.
Honestly, I haven't heard anybody say this, but shout out to Jordan Fuller, to cause that turnover, and Witherspoon, you know what I mean? That was amazing, and I love that. And I think our defense they're all younger guys, new guys, and they are stepping up, and I could not be more impressed with our secondary. Yeah, we have some stuff to clean up, but I think they played really, really well.
Yeah, I feel bad. I did the live stream on Bleacher Report before I went on YouTube, and I have to do winners and losers, and so I named Fuller a loser, and I kind of, in the moment, the heat of the moment, I kind of forgot, low key, that he had that happen, because it's a lot to take in, a lot to process right after the game.
Yeah. And
I was just thinking, more recency bias, the 2-point conversion, he decides to double cover Pittman. I don't really know what he was doing there. And on the read option, he should have, come down and actually tried to play Anthony Richardson. But instead, he didn't, he covered Pittman and wasn't in the same, you know what I mean? It was just kind of a broken play. So that's why I listed him there. But there's not a lot of losers to give that out to. So that's why it was the first thing on my mind. So I'm already admitting to that. So I know people are going to watch that when I repost it on YouTube. And people are going to be like, are you kidding me? That dude forced a fumble. Yeah, sorry about that. Second question here for you. All right. Carson Wentz. He's somebody I think is a perfect fit. I think Sean McVay would be interested in having somebody like that as the backup. He's had guys like that. It'd be kind of like getting Baker Mayfield again, albeit he's a lot bigger. But, I think when you look at it, it's not necessarily, I think Wentz can come in and win games. It's that I think there's a need here for somebody who, it was said best, our last guest, they really didn't want to put Rippon in. That's really what it stemmed, from. Stafford should not have been out there, and most teams don't put him back out there. The Rams did it because I think they felt they had no other choice, and this was such a must-win game. and you couldn't make that decision. If you don't trust your backup quarterback enough to come in that game, to me that says all I need to know. He's not the guy. He wasn't going to be the guy. It was going to be Stetson. We don't know what's going on with Stetson. We hope he's okay and all that. But Stetson's not here. It's ripping. And so your third guy is now your backup. What are your thoughts? Do you think they should go out and get somebody? Do you agree with me on Wentz? Do you have any suggestions for anybody else? I'm curious your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I personally do not like Carson Wentz. I feel like he takes unnecessary risks when he shouldn't. I totally agree. We should go after someone. As far as whoever's out there, like I'm in the camp, honestly, dude. Like, and I don't care if this is controversial. Like Kaepernick, like I would be okay with getting Kaepernick, but Carson Wentz, I've seen how he plays. I've seen and heard a lot from the locker room. Like his teammates, like just don't like him sometimes. Like, and there must be something to that, right? He's been on like 3 different teams now, and it just hasn't worked. So there must be something there. Like it can't just be like the one factor is always him. So it's like it's always something. But I would totally be okay if like we would get Kaepernick, and I know that might be a hot take, and people might not like it, but like get over it. Sorry, but honestly, I feel like when I saw Matthew Stafford go out there limping, I was so upset with McVay. I honestly, like, I was like, what are you doing putting Stafford in there? Are you just waiting for him? I literally like commented on the live stream, and I was like, are you just waiting for him to get just destroyed and die? Like, what are we doing right now? Like, at the end of the day, like, he made the play and Puka Nacua got that touchdown, and I was like the happiest Rams fan on earth. But at the same time, like, you got to think, like, Matthew Stafford is our guy. Like, we need to protect him at all costs. But yes, I do agree we should get a backup quarterback with some skills. I do not believe that Carson Wentz is the answer, but I do believe we should go out there and get someone, and I'm okay with getting someone like Kaepernick.
I mean, I entirely disagree with you, but you are entitled to your opinion, and I believe in positive discourse. And you were getting flamed in the comment section, so I'm just coming to your defense here. This is his opinion, okay?
I knew that was gonna happen, and that's fine.
Like he prefaced it like, I know I'm gonna get flamed for this, but like, yeah, this is how I feel. Here's why I would disagree with you, and it has nothing to do with any of the political nonsense, right? The reason I disagree is he hasn't played in 7 years. So whether it's his fault or not, he hasn't played in 7 years. He's not a pocket passer. He is entirely a read option guy. He wouldn't fit this offense at all. The thing that I like about Wentz is that 2 years ago, he had 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. And the thing I like about Wentz, you know, as far as the locker room stuff that I've actually looked into, and I've talked to some people who know about this, the Philly stuff was real. Like, people thought he was like some religious zealot and whatnot, whatever. But Washington, like Jonathan Allen, guys like that came out in defense of him. There were guys in the Colts locker room that came out in defense of him. Really what I've come to learn is that he's just a hardcore Christian, and he kind of rubs some people the wrong way. And I get that, right? But at the end of the day, he would fit the offense. He's by far the best quarterback available. And 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions 2 years ago with the Colts. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, to me, that's legitimately, like, he should be starting somewhere. Like, you know, he's better than Desmond Ridder over in Atlanta. You know, he's better than Zach Wilson in New York. Like, I mean, he could start right away. Obviously, he would need to know the system and everything. That was my rationale. I actually thought you were going to go a different route. I thought you were going to say Cam Newton, because that would also have been controversial. My problem is Newton can't throw anymore. He can run a little bit.
That's exactly why I didn't go with Cam Newton, because I was like, that dude can't even throw. Like, literally, like, within 10 yards of the end zone, he can't do anything. I'm good.
Yeah, so the whole thing with Wentz, I don't really think he's a bad guy. Based on what I heard, I think he just rubs people the wrong way because he's, like, really into Christianity, which, I like, that's his right. Like, right? I mean, you live in America, you know, freedom of speech, freedom of religion. People get mad about that. It is what it is, man. Personally, I'm not a super overt religious person. I'm just not. But I respect anybody who is and anybody who isn't, because that's why I love this country so much. We're allowed to do those things, right? So, so that's how I feel about the Wentz thing. But moving on to the kicker, how do you feel about Brett Maher? Because to me, I'm all for Brett Maher remaining. I don't think you're going to find anybody better. He had a 90 kick percentage last year. He's missed 4 field goals. One of them was blocked. Another one was a 50-yarder. You're not going to make them all. But where are you on him?
Honestly, like, when we got like this, I'm just talking about this game.
Mm-hmm.
When we got in, anywhere under 50 yards, I was like, shit, he's going to miss. But over 50 yards, I felt okay. So it was like, can we please get a delay of game and maybe like push him back? I was literally like that the whole time. I was like, this guy, I feel like he can't make a kick like under 50. So I was honestly like, it was, and I mean, we saw it in the game. Like, he missed, within 40 and over 50 or 50 or over, he was good. I'm like, all right, so like, let's just do 50 and over 60. We're fine. I don't think we're gonna find anybody better than him, and I think we're okay with him. And I don't concern myself as far as kicking is concerned, because like, I literally said this during the game, like, why are we settling for field goals? We should be going for touchdowns, because Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay, for whatever reason, gets within his own head, and he's all like, I need to run the ball, or you know what, like, running the ball, like, is what I was screaming at the TV last week. This week, he actually ran the ball, and I'm like, why are you running the ball in manageable yardage? Just go for it. And if you don't get it, you're going to get the opportunity to kick the field goal. Like, I was literally like, I don't understand why McVay sometimes I just feel like he gets with in his own head, and he just, it's like, oh, we're up and we're about to get a touchdown. I'm going to just run the ball and know that they're going to stop me, and I'm just going to go for the field goal. And I'm just like, if I can tell you what you're going to run from my couch, I guarantee you the defense on the other side are saying the same thing. So McVay, please just take a shot. Like, I'm not going to be mad at you in 2 and 5 for you trying to get it to the end zone. And we, and if it doesn't work, fine. I'm okay. I'll live with it. And then we can get the field goal. But for you to run the ball 3 freaking times and then go for the field goal and then have it miss, yeah, that gets irritating pretty quickly. But I don't think we should go out and try to get someone else. I think Brett Maher is the best we're going to get this year, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a top 15 kicker, maybe even top 10 when he's on. So, yeah, I mean, it's the best you're going to find. I think it's pretty damn good, right before the season. But Rampage, appreciate you listening for a long time and supporting me. And I'm glad I was able to talk with you, man.
I appreciate you, Jake. Like, you have no idea. Like, dude, sometimes I'm having a bad day, like, and you put on a short or a video and I'll listen to it, and it just, brings me back to my happy place. And I hope you're a bright spot on a lot of people's lives.
Hey, Rampage, appreciate you, man. That's what it's all about. That's what I'm trying to do. And that's why I enjoy doing what I do and not working at my old job, which I hated. So I like doing this. This is my passion, but I also like, inspiring people and helping them with their day, because we all go through bad days. So if I can put a smile on your face, then I think I've done a decent job. But no, really appreciate that, man. You take care.
You too, man. And go Rams, and I hope we do good job this season. And just know that you're doing an amazing job, and I appreciate you. I'm going to follow you wherever you go, bro. And, go Rams.
Hey, appreciate you, man. You take care.
Have a good one.
You too. All right. Monty. How you doing, Monty? Welcome back to JE Live, my friend. You're muted, by the way, in case you don't know. Oh, there you are.
Can you hear me now?
I can. How you doing?
Man, what's going down, my brother? Shouts out to the Ramley chat. Oh man, Jake, this one here. Hey, I'm so happy. I couldn't eat. I don't know what I was gonna do with myself if we lost that game, Jake. It was just man.
Hunger
I really
strike.
don't know. Man, hunger strike. I'm talking about. It's like you said, right? Like earlier in the show, you said we normally don't get these type of games. Like they don't bounce our way. When we kicked the when we punted the ball off and there was 2 minutes left, I'm not gonna lie to you, my confidence just dropped. I'm like, man, this dude finna go down. He already done took it down and scored in the fourth. He on fire. He finna go down, get in field goal range, and they finna win by a damn field goal, and it's finna be one of them days and a whole nother week after I done guaranteed the chat that we gonna have a happy week this week. And now, we feeling good. But nonetheless, though, shouts out to Stafford, bro. I want to give Stafford all the credit in the world for going out there gutting it out.
That was insane.
Yeah, that was insane, bro. Like to whatever situation he was dealing with, he just showed you that he's a trooper, he's a baller, and he gonna go down with the ship. I mean, I heard my man say he was mad that McVay was putting him out there. Well, that was Stafford call. I mean, I can promise you, he wasn't gonna be able to rip Stafford out of that game. No way, no how. Stafford was coming out of that game. So, man, the be up 23 to nothing, a little bit in the third quarter, and then to have them, rally back. We have to, also get credit to the defense for biting down and not just, giving in and getting the stops. And then, coming up in halftime, Matthew Stafford doing this thing with Puka. Puka is man, that's the guy, bro. Puka is the guy, bro. Like, I know you were saying top 20, and I'm gonna respect the receivers and things of that nature because we know you gotta accumulate this over the years, and we know that when you come in as a rookie, they really don't have too much tape to game plan on you. But I just think Puka just gonna get better and better and better, bro. And then having somebody like Cooper Kupp, because they kind of mirror each other to me a little bit. Puka just a little bit bigger, but for us, the route running, the sure hands, and just the dog and the grit that they got in them, they don't do too much talking. But on that field, man, Lord knows we need them. But man, Jake, I don't know what to say. I'm happy, bro. Let me answer a few questions.
Yeah. So the first question, man, the one that I was obviously, I was going to start with, we talked with the Bengals game. You and I were kind of a little optimistic about it. Like it sucked, but we're like, all right, this is a bad game. This isn't who they are. And to me, I think they proved it in this game. But where are you in regards to that? Do you think you feel better about this team moving forward? Do you feel worse, or do you feel the same as you did coming out of the Bengals game?
I feel way better just because we figured out, like last week, we couldn't figure out how to get a win. Even though we was up 23 to nothing, we still figured out how to bite down and go out there and, get the W. So, like you say, even though I still feel like I wanted that win last week, like you said, sometimes those losses are needed to show Sean McVay, don't be too conservative or don't lay back too much. And, he went out there and he was aggressive in overtime. Like you can tell, he got to throwing the ball and he was being very aggressive to say, you know what, we're not going to sit back and try to play for a field goal and then go let defense try to stop him. I'm going to let Matthew Stafford guard her and do what he do best and have faith in our guys. And he put the ball up for Puka and look what happened. I knew Puka was going to get it too. You know what I mean? I said, Puka finna go get this game for his work to get his first touchdown, and we finna have a walk-off. So I feel way better because if we really look at it, Jake, look how good we played through the first 4 games. Like we could be 4-0. And to sit up here with this team with no Cooper Kupp and to say we had a chance to be 4-0 against this deadly lineup that they put us up against, besides, making us pay the bills coming off our Super Bowl win, they won't let us shine. But, the to have a chance to be 4-0, nobody would expect us probably to be 2-2, like you said. Like they probably gave us a chance against Seattle, but the next 3, they probably wrote us off. They probably wrote us off, but they probably had us losing the first 3 and giving us a chance against, the Colts because of, the rookie quarterbacks and things of that nature. So, man, I'm very proud of this squad. The hungriness in the team, the youngsters stepping up, and I don't even think they know how good that they are. Like they are really good with a lot of upside. You know what I mean? So, of course, every year get different, but I'm just thrilled to see how far we can take this thing with players staying healthy and, the rookies learning the game plan and everything that just falls into place with the coaches and the players. So everything is like our ceiling is very high. very high.
No, I agree. I think the best thing and I think the scariest thing for the NFL was that Cooper Kupp was going to miss the first 4 games. And if the Rams were able to get at least a 2-2 in those first 4, that's a wash. Like you did your thing. Like, now, all right, 50-50, won half your games. Now Cooper Kupp's back. But now different players can, succeed. And now that, like, Puka Nacua without these reps, who knows if he's the same guy, Now he's playing with confidence. Now he's seeing the fruits of his labor, so to speak. You know what I mean? And so I think that's a big thing. It's why I think experience is so key. And it's why I think that McVay receivers they've kind of struggled a little bit at the start because they don't get used enough because we're used to Sammy Watkins, Brandon Cooks, Josh Reynolds, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. There's always been a guy in the way. OBJ, Deshaun Jackson, list goes on. So a guy like Van Jefferson isn't quite ready to take that next step, and then his second year he's thrown in there. He might go through those growing pains. Puka went through those growing pains and we didn't even notice them, really. It was the minor drops, which are so minor because he's getting so many targets his way. So, you love to see that. Now, the second question here, Monty, quarterback position. I am not about to, stand on top of a table and say Matthew Stafford is a problem and needs to be benched. What I'm going to say is that I'm worried about Matthew Stafford's health long term and even in the short term because we saw it today, just the realism here. He was banged up. He played injured, and he wouldn't have played injured if he was on any other team because most teams in the league have backups that they trust. The Rams do not trust Rippon. He wasn't their first option. It was going to be Stetson Bennett. So where are you on the backup quarterback? Do you want them to go out and sign a new guy? Personally, I like Wentz as the guy. If you do want them to go out and sign another guy, who would you want them to take? And if not, why don't you want them to?
I totally agree with you when you bring in Carson Wentz, right? Because first of all, we know Carson Wentz is a winner.
Yeah.
Right? The moment is not going to be too big for him. He's somebody that can learn the playbook, and somebody like a Sean McVay offense, like you say, when this offense is ran off a pocket passer. So when you got somebody like Carson Wentz who can game manage the game, right, to where he don't have to do it all himself. But I think just having experience is everything, especially with a young team. You don't want to have a young quarterback or, like you say, a quarterback that should be a third string or things of that nature. Carson Wentz, like you say, he can be started anywhere right now. I don't think it's 32 quarterbacks out there better than Carson Wentz. I'm with you on that one. I really don't think so. So if we was to have him as a backup with his knowledge, right, seeing the field with different things, like he can help Matthew Stafford out in so many ways. You know what I mean? He don't have to play the field, but he can see the field. So it's like having another set of eyes out there of what's going on and reading defense and seeing what they want to do. And plus, you'll have somebody, that he can conversate with and bounce things off of. So let's, knock on wood, nothing happened to Stafford and, he take this week off the hill and he get back. But to have somebody like a Carson Wentz as a backup, I would totally love that. Like, I get it. I know exactly where you're going. I see where you're going with it. The experience, he don't turn the ball over that much. Dude was just in the Super Bowl, so it's like he's somebody that you can bank on if Stafford was to go down. Like I said, we don't want to wish that on him, but he's somebody that you can bank on and go out there that can help you still push the team forward. So I'm with you 120% on. I would love to have Carson Wentz as a backup. I don't think people understand how big that is to have somebody like a Carson Wentz as a number 2 backup, sitting back behind Matthew Stafford. So I agree 120%. I go out and get Carson Wentz as well.
Yeah. Carson Wentz. I mean, I'm fine, grabbing, somebody like Colt McCoy as well. But I think you need to get somebody because Brett Rippon is not that option. He's not that guy. And you know that because you ran roughshod at him in the blowout game last year against the Broncos. So you already know this. But anyway, last question here for you, my guy. Kicker. Okay, I'm not at all concerned about Maher, but I know a lot of folks are. Where are you on Brett Maher?
I'm still rocking with Maher. I'm not going to kick him out the way. He just hit 9 points for us. So that's a big 9 points that you put on the board to help us win the game, right? So
yeah,
I still put the mix 4 and only hit 1, but He missed two, and the two that he like, of course, it would have put the game away, but at the same time, this what happened with kickers, man. Like they're going to miss a few. Everybody not gonna be out of Vinatieri out here, or Justin Tucker. So it's just he doing his job. And one thing about kickers is you got to keep their confidence up. So it ain't like you can just, oh man, you missed two, got to just throw you out the way now. No, because like he missed the two right now, he'll come back and I loved it. Greg the Leg. I love Zerline, right? But Zerline missed plenty of kicks, but it just come down to the big one. You know what I mean? If we're in a situation, just make sure you nail the big one. And it's not like he missed something that knocked us out the playoffs or things of that nature. So I'm okay with Brett Maher, man. Like you pat him on the helmet, you keep his spirit high, and we pick each other up. You know what I mean? So, offense picked the defense up today. Special team gonna have to pick us up sometimes. Defense gonna have to pick us up sometimes. So we just don't just go, oh man, you missed two kicks or just kick them away. No, you got to ride and die with the team. You know what I mean? So I'm okay with Brett. I want to stick with him. You went 3 for 5 today? No, not bad. That's 75% of the kicks.
Yeah, he's 12 of 16 on the year. I mean, that's not bad. I'll take it.
Yeah,
You're
too.
kicking
I'll take it as
16
well.
field goals in 4 games. That's an average of 4 field goals a game.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
no.
what do you want him to do? I don't know. I mean, I think to your point, I remember when Zerline went through that really rough patch and they stuck by him and it ended up working out in the end. Maher's a guy that had a 90% kick rate last year. I'm not concerned about Maher. I'm really not. They're not asking him to kick 30-yard chip shots either. These are some long field goals. And part of the thing is that's the Colts. Their defense will stall you once you get past midfield. And, you have to keep in mind, and I mean, but just in general, like Gus Bradley is a really good defensive coordinator.
Yep.
So
And let me put this out here, Jack. Cause this is just a PSA for if I don't know if you have any St. Louis people in the building right now, but St. Louis do a lot of hating on the Rams nowadays, right? I'm in
Seems
St.
that
Louis.
way.
Yeah, but listen, Stan Kroenke. I'm gonna set the record straight because people like to say Stan Kroenke ran out on us, right? That's a lie. That's a lie in 3 quarters, man. Stan Kroenke gave us all the opportunities in the world, Jack, to keep the Rams in St. Louis. The man wanted St. Louis to get him $800 million on this beautiful stadium that was made of nothing but glass. It was a glass stadium, one of the best stadiums that we have ever seen in the world, bro. Like I was so high, and I was just thinking, like I'm just knowing St. Louis gonna go along with it, and they turned the man down. They said no, right? They wanted him to dump his money to the Edward Jones Dome down here in St. Louis, which he don't own. I'm not going to put 600 to 700 million bucks into something that's not mine neither. So, St. Louis turned them down, bro, and they let him walk out the door because they wanted to build a soccer stadium downtown, which they did build. So now they want to hate on the Rams up and down, all around. And I'm seeing a lot of St. Louisans who was big time Rams fans, talking shit about the Rams and wishing them to lose, bro. So if you're in the chat and you're from hopefully you're a Rams fan if you're over this way, but man, it just pissed me off, Jake. I love the team. I went to almost every game, but St. Louis got to hold itself accountable for letting the Rams walk out the door. And now that they back in LA, which I don't mind because they came from LA, right? We went to 2 Super Bowls in St. Louis. We went to 2 Super Bowls in LA. We went 1-1 here. We 1-1 there, right? So it's like little brother, big brother thing, So I just don't like the fact that they just throw dirt on the Rams and they just, we're going to bring Kansas City over to St. Louis and this and that. I don't want to see no goddamn Patrick Mahomes. I don't care about no Patrick Mahomes or no Kansas City Chiefs. I'm a Rams fan to the death of me, and ain't nothing go change. But
and
Jake, my brother.
And you're
go ahead,
from
go ahead.
St. Louis, right?
Yeah, I'm from St. Louis. Yes, man. They don't even want to show the Rams games here, so I got to watch NFL Red Zone, and then I got to watch it on ESPN, the scoreboard watch, just so I don't miss a play. So, yeah, man, St. Louis, some haters, bro.
There are some great fans out there, including yourself and my co-host Alexis Kraft, who's from St. Louis. She doesn't currently live there, but there are still fans out there.
Thank you for staying down, Alexis. Thank you.
So, yeah. So, hey, appreciate you, man. You have a good one. I appreciate your support. You're always supporting. You're always throwing super chats at me, and it means a lot.
Always, Jake. And I want you to just continue to do what you do, man. You the voice of the Rams for us, right? Hopefully the Rams see this one day, and we might see you, you know what I mean, commentating somewhere one day. So, continue doing what you're doing, my brother. We appreciate you. We're going to support you to the end, champ.
I appreciate it, man. You take care. Enjoy the rest of your day, and enjoy Victory Monday tomorrow.
Yes, sir, because I couldn't go through this week with another loss, man. You got a good one, Jake.
Hunger strike. Have a good one, man. All right. Let's see here. Who do I bring in? I'll bring in P-Train. How we doing, my guy? P-Train, you there?
I'm doing good. How's it going?
Oh, it's going well. It could have gone really poorly. This could have been a completely different. I don't even know what I would have said if they lost this game. 1-3 is hard to, it's a tough pill to swallow. Losing 3 straight is a tough pill to swallow. And there are a lot of people that will literally, get rid of week 1. Like they say, throw week 1 out the window and the league makes more sense. So that would mean 0-3 by that standard. But how are you feeling after this game? Because we talked about, the Bengals game, and I think I felt like that wasn't truly them, and I like the way they responded in this one. They dealt with adversity, head on. I liked it. But P-Train, are you feeling better after this game, worse, or the same as you did after the Bengals game?
Well, I got a mixed bag on it. Like I've been hearing some of the people talk about. I mean, I'm glad we got the victory. I'll take it. It's better than coming out in here and getting a loss. So a victory is a victory. So you got to keep that in mind. The fact I had a little bit of a nap after the game, I think I was emotional wreck. So now that I've got a little bit of a nap, I'm a little bit more clear-headed.
I
a little less emotional.
It's funny you say that. I took a nap after Kansas lost yesterday.
It drains you, doesn't it?
It does, man. You get so emotionally invested, and then just that happens. But yeah.
Yeah, my wife has to shut the doors and everything to my kid's bedroom, so because I get a little too boisterous and yeah.
So what are your thoughts on this game?
Well, you know how last week we talked about McVay's Achilles heels, right? We talked about him burning through timeouts too fast and abandoning the run. Well, the other Achilles heel that he has, is never not putting the foot down on his opponent's necks and putting them out of the game and keeping it, the gas pedal down. He lets off when he gets a little bit of a lead, and he starts playing conservative. I saw it when he was up 14-0, and then when he kicked that field goal to make it 17-0, I said, "Oh man, here we go." He's doing it. He's starting it, and then the rest of the points that he scored were nothing but field goals until overtime, and then the 2 other missed field goals on that. So he was trying for 5 field goals. I'm like, last week he wasn't running the ball enough. This week, in certain areas, he was running the ball too much when he could have. In the first half, and he could have put that up to 21-0 or more. He eased back. And when I heard Sean's presser this evening, and he even mentioned it a couple of times in it that he did get a little conservative and things like that. He sure did. And it's one of the things that he does, and that's why this game became the way it did, and it shouldn't have been. And this is a pattern because I've seen this so many times being a Rams fan for all my life. Pretty much. I've seen this with McVay, and I'll take the victory, but it's still a little frustrating. Hopefully he'll learn from this one too and get ready for a real hard game against Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's not going to be an easy game. They won again today. The more they continue to win, the tougher they're going to be to beat. And what I think is so impressive about that team, before we get back into this game, I don't really think Jalen Hurts has really been himself. I think today was probably the first time he looked like himself. And they were, they crushed Tampa, who I think is a decent team. So I don't know. But, sticking with this game and I guess going outside of the game a little bit, with Stafford getting banged up, what are your thoughts on the quarterback spot Because, I mean, I've already made it very clear. I want Carson Wentz and horns tomorrow. But where are you on the quarterback? Do you have a specific person you want, or you're fine with riding with Rippon as the backup?
Well, I wouldn't be fine with if Rippon comes in that game. I don't think we have the results of a victory today.
No, I think it's the opposite of what happened 2 years ago when Jacob Eason threw away the game against the Rams.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Carson Wentz. I would prefer a Colt McCoy.
Mm-hmm.
When he was playing with Arizona and everything, and we faced him, he was a tough. He's just tough. He'll take the hits and he'll stick in there like Stafford does. And so I would rather have a Colt McCoy in there over Wentz.
I mean, I think Colt McCoy would probably be my second option. After that, I don't know, man. Matt Ryan,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
no, Matt Ryan. I think I might take Rippon.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Ryan is just at the point where I think he is in denial. He wants to be retired. Like, he keeps saying, "Oh, I want to play." I mean, when you get into the Flaccos and the Ryans, those are just big names and not who they really are. Like, Wentz is 30, so like Wentz isn't just a big name who was almost an MVP winner at one point. Wentz is somebody that had 27 touchdowns and 7 interceptions with the Colts 2 years ago. So, like, this guy can still play, and he started games last year. Colt McCoy, we know he's one of the best backups in football. But I think, to your point, yeah, it would have to be one of those guys for me, or I'd have to see who they got. But, like, a Cam Newton, it just doesn't even make sense to me because he can't throw. But the last question here for you, I got to ask you. Kicker, all right. How are you feeling about Brett Maher? Am I crazy for wanting to stick it through with him and not even having any issue with him? Because I understand he missed 2 kicks, but I think what we got to look at is field goal kicking is not a guarantee, and it's not like Maher's going out there and he's not looking like Sam Sloman. So I'm not about to replace him, especially after they won.
Yeah, I think for me, one, there's nobody out there who's better than him right now, and so we got the best of whatever's left out there.
Yeah.
So you can take that how you want to. I just hope that after those 2 misses today, that he doesn't get into his head and revert back to what happened when he was on the Cowboys and he missed those 5 or 6 extra points in that one game. I believe it was when he was a Cowboy, and I just hope he doesn't get in his head and start the downward spiral. Because when he made that first miss today, and it was badly. As soon as it came off his foot, it's like a big gust of wind just shoved it over. And I was like, oh no, he's back.
Yeah. It's kicking from I forget who mentioned it, but kicking from the right hash has been giving him issues.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it is what it is. I think what it is for me is when from now on, going through the rest of the season, when he goes to kick, depending upon it, especially if it's a game-winning situation, I am going to be holding my breath like, oh no, which one are we going to get? Which kicker is this going to be?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Just having those misses on his resume, I am going to be a little worried every time he goes to kick the football. I like him. I think he'll make it, but it's not like Sam Sloman, where I was like, oh no, I can't even watch this. It's going to make me throw up, when they got him, I was like, he had a 75% kick rate in college. That doesn't get better in the NFL, and sure enough, it didn't. But hey,
I got a question for you.
Yeah,
my friend.
Yeah, let it rip.
What do you think it's going to be if we can pull off a victory over Philadelphia, and then we start heading into the rest of the season where our schedule, quote unquote, is supposed to be a little easier? Because in order to beat the man, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man. And Philadelphia and San Francisco are the man right now. So if we can pull off a victory, what does that bode for the rest of our season?
I got to imagine if they pull off the Eagles victory, it's a 3-game homestand at SoFi. I like them in that game. Will they win? I don't know. I think it'll be a close game, though. But if they pull that off, that's 3-2. Then you got Arizona. Arizona plays them way tougher at SoFi, though. So that's the tricky thing. And by the way, don't turn that dial. Arizona's down by 12 to San Francisco. They've hung in that game. They just gave up a touchdown, but that was just a one possession game. So like this team is not going to be easy to just take down. They're a pest, but I do think they win that game. And that would be 4-2 if they beat Philly. Guys, I got to be honest with you. I was really high on the Steelers coming into the season. They do not look good right now. Like Kenny Pickett was taken out of the game. They lost 30-6, probably one of the worst games that they've played. I mean, that could be a if they beat the Eagles, that could be a homestand sweep heading to Jerry World at, we're talking 5-2. I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Do we have the Steelers after Philadelphia?
So,
or is it the Cardinals?
Philly, Arizona, and then Pittsburgh all in a row at SoFi.
Ooh.
So the Rams played the first three of the first four they played on the road. That's a benefit though, because they went 2-2. Now they get the benefit of coming back home for 3 straight games. And people will use the whole, well, their stadium is going to be full of other teams' fans, so it's not really a home game. But I think we miss the whole point of what a home game is. You get to sleep in your own bed. You get to go through the motions of being a home team. It's not even necessarily about the crowd at that point. It's about the preparation and the travel, So that's what's like, they don't have to travel for 3 weeks. That's big.
And they get to spend time with their families and everything.
Yeah. So I like that. If they beat Philly, I think they would rip off wins against the Cardinals and Steelers. I think they are 5-2 at that point. They head to Jerry World, so they're on the road in Dallas. They're on the road against the Packers. Then they host Seattle at SoFi, on the road against Arizona. Then they got the Browns in SoFi. Then they got the Ravens in Baltimore, and then they got the Commanders and Saints back to back at SoFi. And then they're on the road the last 2 games of the year to wrap up the season against the Giants, which I can be the first one to tell you, being at those games in MetLife, P-Train, they have success with those ones. And then the 49ers to wrap it up. So, I mean, it's not as difficult of a schedule as everyone wants to perceive it, because I think they're better than just about every team on the schedule except for, maybe the Eagles here, the Cowboys, depending. And I mean, I think they're better than Seattle. I think they'd beat Baltimore.
What about Cleveland? Cleveland's going to be a tough one.
But I mean, even Cleveland, like they just lost by 25 today at home.
Oh, they did. I didn't even see the scores yet today.
Yeah, like I know Deshaun Watson didn't play, but like Dorian Thompson-Robinson, some people wanted him to start over Deshaun because he struggled so much. So, I thought the Steelers coming in this season would have been a tough game. I don't know now. The Saints game could be interesting later on in the season. You're talking about a short week. I still think they're a better team.
I think we handle the Saints. Yeah, we'll handle the Saints pretty easily, I think.
Peter, I'm going to be honest with you. The rest of the year, the Rams play 2 teams that are probably definitely better, because I don't know what to think about the Eagles against the Rams. I'm going to say they're better. I'm going to say they play 2 teams that are guaranteed better than the Rams right now, the Eagles and the 49ers. I think the Rams are better than the Giants, the Saints, the Commanders, the Ravens, the Browns, the Cardinals, the Seahawks, the Packers, the Cowboys, the Steelers. I mean, they're better than most teams on their schedule left over.
Yep.
So that's how I feel. And I think playing against an Anthony Richardson is going to help them against those games, against a Lamar Jackson, against a Deshaun Watson, against a Dak Prescott. You know what I mean? Guys that can take off and run it.
That's what I feel about Hurts next week. Playing Richardson today prepared us for next week, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Hurts, duh. That's a big one. So
yeah,
but yeah, I have to bring on more people here because I have so many people waiting. But P-Train, really appreciate you, man.
Awesome. Take it easy, brother.
You too. Hope to see you in the next one.
You bet.
Later, man.
Bye.
All right, guys. Let's see. Rusty, how you doing?
Hey, what's good, Dick?
What's good is that they won. Thank God for that. How are you feeling about this team? First question. Following that Bengals game and now, you know, this game, are you feeling better after this win? Are you feeling worse about how it went down, or are you feeling kind of in the middle of where you were before?
Not gonna lie to you, Jake. I'm gonna be straight up with you. I feel a lot better. That O-line, it was amazing. Dodson played great for a backup. His first time in the trenches, and he played well. And yeah, that's what we needed. We needed that continuity, and I'm so happy we got it back. And McVay kind of disappointed me with his inconsistent play calling. Like, I loved what he was doing in the first quarter, second quarter, but as soon as the third quarter hit, I was like, nope, he's reverting back to his old ways. But I'll take that than whatever the hell he coached on Monday night. I'll take that over any other thing right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, I kind of feel the same way. I think with Dotson, I mean, you know, I was really high on the pickup there, loved it. I feel like that's what it's all about when you're able to get guys like that. That's truly having depth, right? Guys that are considered backups but are really starters that are just, you know, they're not starting on your team. Thought he played well. Thought Noteboom looked like the franchise left tackle we were hoping he would be. Offensive line looked good.
I got a shout out to Big Rob Havenstein because he looked like he was back in 2018. I didn't hear a peep from him because he was just balling out, and I like that.
Yeah, no,
he was awesome.
He's great though. He's so consistent. He's like rock solid. I love Rob Havenstein. I mean, he's awesome. And I think he's such a tone setter.
I gave him a lot of shit last year because he was our best player on the line. And I gave him a lot of shit, and like, I'm happy he proved me wrong, and hopefully he gets a Pro Bowl nod or an All-Pro nod because he's doing amazing. And against his gauntlet,
yeah,
I appreciate him more.
Yeah, he's gone up against some big time pass rush. But second question for you here about the quarterback situation. Now, I've made it very clear. I want Wentz. I think my second option would be Colt McCoy, and maybe third if needed, maybe Matt Ryan. But where are you on the quarterbacks? Do you think they need to go out and get somebody? How are you seeing this thing?
Well, if we have no other option, if we have Stafford limping like that again, it's really smart of us for us to get a quality backup. Like, I wouldn't want to use Carson Wentz, but if he's our only option, I wouldn't hate that. And yeah, it'll be nice to have a good, reliable backup because I don't think McVay's fully sold on Brett Rippon, and that guy, Brett Rippon's probably a nice guy and everything, but if McVay doesn't want to play you, he'd rather have an injured Stafford than play you. Then it's kind of an issue right there. But I mean, if Carson Wentz, I'll be happy with it. I'll be pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good move. I agree with you though, because it says a lot. You know, actions speak louder than words, and the fact that they wouldn't play Rippon, they didn't even think twice. They're like, no, that tells you all you need to know because Stafford could barely move. Final question for you here, Rusty. What are you thinking about the kicker spot? Because for me, not a concern after this game. He missed 2 field goals. He hit 3. He scored 11 points for the team today, which is really good. You're not going to hit them all. Kickers are not a guarantee. But the chat was telling me otherwise. A lot of people in the chat were saying, move on from this guy. He's not the guy. Where are you on that?
Well, I could be honest with you, Jake. I still think Maher's kind of shit, but at the same time, it's not that bad. He's just very inconsistent. That's the thing I hate about it. He's very inconsistent, and for him to miss a good amount of field goals, 2 that were really critical, and indoors, and he couldn't hit those, that was a little concerning. And I'm very concerned when it comes to like when if he's going to be able to adjust to that. But I feel like it's all coaching. Brent Maher's are basically the best kicker we have right now because Chandler Brown wasn't cutting it, and yeah, it's just inconsistency with him. I feel like they could fix that. Well, look what happened to Matt Gay. The Bucks took him out because he was very inconsistent, and we turned him around. So I feel like that could happen again. But Brent Maher, yeah, he's bad, but at the same time, we could probably make him a Pro Bowler by the end of the season. So those are my thoughts on him. He just needs to get consistent.
All right. Well, hey, Rusty, appreciate you. Thank you so much for waiting patiently. Sorry it took so long. It's going to take long, man.
Right,
but it's always fun, man.
You're doing a good thing. Everyone loves it because we get to talk to you one-on-one. Yeah, keep doing it, Jake. I'm telling you.
Hey.
In voice, you're going to have a lot of people in Discord trying to talk to you. It's a good thing, Jake.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm glad we're doing it. But hey, appreciate you, man. You take care, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Thanks, Jake.
Absolutely. Later, Rusty. All right. The Mandalorian. How are you doing? Welcome back to JE Live, my friend.
Yeah. Yo, what's going on, man? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's a little muffled, but I can hear you.
Oh, is it really? Okay, sorry about that. Let me see what I can do here with the mic. But let's see real quick. Sorry about that. Let's
No worries.
get off that. Not any better?
A little better.
All right, sorry. I'm out here on the road heading back home. But Jake, isn't it stressful being a Rams fan, dude? Isn't it so stressful? I mean, my goodness, man. I mean, talk about feeling good going into the half, right? Obviously, there were some drives I felt like we should have punched in for some touchdowns, but whoo, that was a heart attack waiting to happen if we would have lost that game. Don't you agree?
Oh, yeah. And I just, the way I see it is I have totally just taken myself away from young Jake, who would have been upset we didn't score more points because I didn't understand the true nature of what a win means. And now, for me, I look at games so differently. I'm just like, get the win. You know, points are nice, but this isn't college football. Power rankings don't decide who wins the Super Bowl. So
yeah, that's right, man. I mean, I'm going to be there at the game in SoFi next weekend against Philly with some friends and all that. And I was just dreading the feeling of, okay, we're really going to go play an NFC championship level team going in with a losing record. I'm like, not good at all. So to get the 500, through the first quarter of the season, obviously we all still have a sour taste for the Bengal game, but it's over with. We move on, right? We won today. Good. But to go in at the quarter mark, Jake, I mean, to be 2-2 for a team that everyone thought was going to be absolute garbage, right? All the analysts from every network, from every blog, from every fantasy, corporation, independent groups talking about the Rams. Everyone thought we were going to suck, and for us to be 2-2, and especially the game that we, didn't play our best last week, I feel pretty solid because there's so much room for improvement, and especially defensively in certain situations. Offensively, obviously, when Kupp comes back, we'll be much better. I feel good. How do you feel, man?
I mean, I feel like these type of games don't even happen with Cooper Kupp there. Like a team against the Colts, who are really good. Don't get me wrong. I think they're a really good football team. I think they could win that division and sneak by. But the way I see it is like if they had Cooper Kupp, some of those guys that Stafford's holding the ball for to try to wait until they get open. Because, by the way, hats off to the Colts defense. They covered these guys really well in the second half, to be fair.
And Jake, real quick, I don't mean to interject. I thought the Colts defense has played pretty well through this first 3 games up until this week. I mean, even today, actually, they played pretty solid. And I always thought, hey, man, I mean, if Richardson doesn't get hurt in that one game that they lost, I'm like, they probably squeaked that game out. They might be undefeated going into our matchup earlier today. So the Colts front seven's pretty dang good, man. Jack Leonard, the other linebacker, I'm blanking on his name, and the whole front seven overall is pretty good. So I was kind of nervous, man, with Alarg being out and all that. And I'm grateful for the guys who stepped up. But go ahead, finish your thought. Apologies.
No worries. I that's how I saw it too. The guy that really stood out to me, I already knew Juju Brents. I knew, Blackman. I knew the front seven. But to see the way Dallas Flowers played, I mean, he was incredible. Like, I don't think people realize. And when I watch the All-22, I'll be able to kind of explain it to people because, like, you know, you watch him cover in 2-2. Atwell's trying, man. Like, he was blanketing Atwell. So when you have that incredible amount of speed and you're able to cover those guys, especially while, you know, they're in those motions, they're on the run, that's incredibly difficult. I hated that his game ended the way it did. Because he did suffer a non-contact injury. But I do think, you know,
it sucks.
To the whole point of Cooper Kupp now, in that game, everyone's been asking the wrong questions is, oh, well, you know, how is Puka Nacua going to keep this up? I think he could keep this up with Cooper Kupp. There's no reason why they can't both do what they're doing with Tutu Atwell. I mean, I think they stay on the field longer. I think they get more drives. I think they get more touchdowns. I think people are really underestimating what Cooper Kupp can do just by being on the field. He's going to get the attention. He's going to garner that attention. I mean, we saw it last year. And now the question is, though, does Matthew Stafford get tunnel vision? Does he get obsessed with throwing to Cooper Kupp again? And he has had that. Like, as much as I love the guy, I swear by him, and he's been so good at distributing the football and spreading the targets around, that's one of my biggest concerns is that watching last year, like, he definitely had that kind of tunnel vision with Cooper Kupp, and I think a lot of it was because he didn't get a chance in the offseason to prepare with guys like Allen Robinson. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you know what, Jake? I mean, shoot, dude. Speaking of the Allen Robinson, you talking about that reminds me. He had such an incredible camp, you know, all throughout the training camp, you know, last offseason, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, everyone was talking about, you know, Peter King of NBC Sports, who travels throughout, you know, big writer for them. And everybody in our camp, everybody in opposing team's camp. And it was like, all right, this guy should go off. And then obviously it was a disaster. With Puka, it was kind of the same thing. Maybe not to that, you know, level of, oh my God. But people were talking about Puka like, man, this guy might go off. And I had that reservation. I was like, hey, man, I lived through this a year ago and it was a disaster. I'm like, I got to see it to believe it. And through a quarter of the season, man, what a baller. So to your question about how it would go down when Kupp returns, whether that's this upcoming week or in the future, hopefully, I think it's going to work, dude, because people are saying, oh, Nacua is doing everything that Kupp is doing. Actually, that's not true, man. And you watch your All-22, Jake, and so do I. I'm a film junkie as well. And they're not asking Nacua to do the same things. They're not asking Nacua to do, you know, a varying degree of option routes that him and Stafford, you know, had a connection in the 2021 season, obviously in the 2022 Kupp I'm talking about. You know, Nacua is really not being lined up and not being used as a primary read on every play like Kupp is. So I think it's going to work, man. I mean, Nacua is doing a lot of what Robert Woods did, you know, a lot of those short, intermediate, you know, skinny posts, quick slants, you know, 5 to 10 yard, you know, dig in routes, a lot of the quick outs. That's everything Robert Woods, you know, did, guys. And you maybe go back and watch highlights of Woods back in the Glory Ram days when the offense was popping. It's the same thing. So I think it's going to work out beautifully, honestly. I really think so. And we'll have to see, right? We're hoping, I'm hoping, you're hoping. But I think it will. Fix what was being asked to do and how that's going to fit in with what Kupp has, which is completely different. All the time, honestly.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think Van becoming your number 4 receiver makes you a better football team. And that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, isn't that crazy, Jake? Isn't that insane that we'd be saying that only through 4 games? Like, Van's our 4th. Like, it's pretty clear. It's like, wow.
Like, it's not even close for me. Like, Van is clearly the 4th. I think.
Hey, real quick, shout out to Van for catching that big 4th down and having another big catch. I mean, hey, it's been a rough, you know, contract year, right? Year 4 for him. But without that 4th down catch, we lose that game. So shout out to him. Just want to say that real quick.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. By the way, I will say, not to be doom and gloom here. I think the draft class is going to go down as Les Snead and Sean McVay's best. But Aiden O'Connell right now, who the Rams passed up for Stetson Bennett, he's coming back in this game. And
I know I have no idea what's going on in these later games, but I'm not shocked, man. It's just funny how a lot of quarterbacks who have played a significant amount of football just end up working out pretty majority of the time in the NFL. I think O'Connell was a Purdue guy, right? If I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, no, you're right. He was throwing to Charlie Jones.
Purdue quarterbacks, they're 3+ year starters usually, right? I mean,
they run a pro style offense too there.
Yeah, and they run a pro. Yes, indeed. I was just gonna say that as well.
Oh, I jinxed him. He threw a pick to Asante Samuel Jr.
Well, hey man, today's his first start, right? So I mean, I'm a lot of rookie bumps, but
that's a shame.
With Stetson, I mean, look at dude. I know we can all guess what's going on, and obviously preseason was pretty damn rough. The film was really bad, and obviously maybe there's some off the field non sports related injury going on, whether it's mental health, whether there's some physical ailment he's doing to himself. Unfortunately, there's something going on, I think, Jake, unfortunately for him, and just the way McVay's about it, and other guys, and Matthew, and in past press conferences, there's something going on with him. There's some deeper life issues, and I hope he figures it out. But to the football standpoint, the Stetson Bennett pick, purely football is not looking too great outside of whatever else is going on with his life. But hey, we're surviving it, right? Matthew has not been yanked yet, thankfully. Luckily today, I mean, because man, Jake, when he went down with that hip, or not went down, but when he was hobbling pretty seriously, and I was like, shoot, we're in trouble, aren't we? That's when the Colts were starting to creep back in pretty good too. But shout out to Matthew, man. When we got the ball to open up that overtime, I knew we were gonna win. I was like, it's over, dude. You can't let one of the comeback kings left in this league get the ball that many times and he's not going to punch it in, man. And shout out to the Colts for the blown coverage. I'll have to look at the film and see what happened. I'm happy it happened regardless, but man, it's crazy how the stats are not so great for Stafford, but the film is just so beautiful, and today will probably be the same thing when we look back in a couple of days when it's available.
One thing I want to throw out there about the film, Stafford had a play on that drive where they're going down the field and there's some pressure, right? He steps up in the pocket and now there's pressure because he's trying to wait to the last second and get a throw off.
Yeah.
When he does that sidearm throw, the degree of awareness for him to do that, because he's doing that knowing that a guy's coming over the top, like full chop, about to swat the ball out. This game is over, by the way, if they force a fumble at this point in the field. And he instead tucks it and then throws like a sidearm, like he's Derek Jeter or A-Rod. And it was just, it's so impressive to me. And it's just, it's a level where this is where Matthew Stafford's on another like level, compared to most quarterbacks in the NFL. And when
Jake, people disrespect Stafford, like they just see the stat line, and people are more inclined to just base all their opinions based off stats, which tell some truth, right? Let's keep it real. But dude, Jake, I mean, I know you know this. Anybody who's not a fan of the Rams, and if people have doubts, guys, Matthew has a top 5 arm in this league. He's a top 10 quarterback without a doubt. A couple bad interceptions here and there, but a lot of tips with the other half of the interceptions so far through the quarter of the season. Dude's such a baller. Dude is such a baller, man. And we don't win this game without him. There's no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, I still think there are some throws here and there, and I love this guy. I think I very rarely criticize him, but I do think there are some throws that he makes where you're like, okay, that's what's holding you back from being like Manning, Brady, Rodgers. Right. Yeah.
Well, Jake, I don't know if you remember this soundbite from Dan Orlovsky back before we played the 2021 season, and everyone's talking about the trade and oh my gosh, why did they do it? Right.
Oh yeah.
And Dan was a backup to Stafford. I don't know for how long, but they spent some time together, a decent time in Detroit. And Dan Orlovsky says that they're still good friends. So I remember back then he was like, one thing about Matthew Stafford, he's like, he told me this in film one time, and he said, Dan, I can just make throws that you can't, and that's why I'm going to throw that laser beam inside when they're watching film together. And he's like, he's right. Matthew's got a laser beam special arm, and he believes that he can make any throw anywhere at any time. And it's the risk it no biscuit, right? He's sometimes he'll pull off throws like in the bowl where he no looks, Kupp in a big, the game-winning drive. And sometimes we'll see some stuff like we saw today and we've seen in the past where it's like, all right, Matthew, like that wasn't a good idea, but there'll be a moment later this season where he's going to pull off a holy crap throw. Thank God Matthew's our quarterback. And there's going to be times in the future, again, it's just inevitable where we're going to be like, damn, Matthew, that wasn't a good idea. But hey, man, to win big games, you got to have a quarterback that can make the big throws, and he's one of those guys. So I always remember that Dan Orlovsky story. He's like, yeah, that's totally Matthew to a T.
No, that's great. You're spot on. That's what he is. And it's what holds him back from again being, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. But I'm still okay with him being. I think he's better than that tier of Phillip Rivers, Roethlisberger, Matt Ryan. Like I think he's ahead of those guys personally.
Oh, so, Jake. I mean, if he wasn't on Detroit, I mean, Mike, imagine he was a Packer, or imagine he was. We can pick a gazillion.
I mean, he's really what he is he's Brett Favre. He's a gunslinger and he's going to throw picks. And he's not Brett Favre because he doesn't throw 20-something picks, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, imagine Brett. Yeah, everyone's opinion of Brett Favre would be different if he was a Detroit Lion for a majority of his career, right? Let's just be real. That's just facts. I mean, Green Bay. I mean, obviously Brett's play was a big part of why they won a championship and why they, competed for another one against Elway's Broncos. But I mean, hey man, we know how this goes, Jake. Where you land determines a lot of your success, your paychecks, right? Your future paychecks as a player in this league. And luckily Matthew, pulled the trigger and wanted to be a Ram. Thank God. But I want to say real quick, man, shout out to everybody in the run the damn ball train. Shout out to McVay, who dodged the media, by the way, if anyone can pay attention to any of that. I think he knew, man. He's like, all right, I'm not doing my weekly show. I won't talk to the media till Wednesday, right? Or late Thursday.
He knew.
And I think he knew. I think Mike LaFleur hopefully told him, hey, man, I'm here because you wanted me to run some more gap scheme. And today we did. Shout out to Kyron, who I think fits this scheme really, really well in the gap stuff, which I think Akers did not, and which is why he's gone. I mean, we'll leave it at that. But hopefully we run it more, because think about it, Jake. If we weren't getting so pass happy in the second half, we probably don't have to go to overtime, right? I mean, that's my opinion. I'll have to look back at the film, but we're running these really good wham concepts. We're doing a lot of duo, and I think we could still dabble into more traps, which we have in previous games, and more, single back powers with the guard and a lot of more counter. But that'll improve, I think, as Kyron gets more confidence with the staff, which he already does. I think when Mike gets an even bigger role, which I think that will grow as the season goes on, as teams study us. But run the damn ball.
Run the damn ball.
I'm gonna have to wear that shirt every game day now. I'm just gonna have to will it into existence, dude. That blue and gold shirt that I have. But I think hopefully we would run some more interesting gap stuff. I think today's second half performance, I think hopefully that will convince Coach McVay to have some more gap scheme runs in the second half of games, so we don't have mini heart attacks every other drive, right? Shoot.
Yeah, we don't want that.
And go ahead. Apologies.
Yeah, no, I just have to get through some people, so I was just going to ask you one last question. Man, I love talking with you.
Yeah, me too, Dick. It's a good time, man.
Yeah, we'll have to do I'm going to actually say this now so I don't forget it. I'm going to start doing spaces, okay? Maybe pregame, like right before I go on JE Live, and I want to start doing that. On game days, it's tough because I have Bleacher Report, so I do the Bleacher Report live stream first. But I do want to do more spaces. I know you've mentioned it before. I just did
it's something to dabble in, man. Rams Twitter is a fun, chaotic place, and and then look, obviously there's always the trolls, right? I've every fan base. But I think overall, man, I mean, shout out to everybody that I've ever been in the space with. Maybe you're here listening to Jake right now. Maybe you will eventually when you replay this video at a later time. It's a good group of people I've been in spaces with, man. I mean, shout out to OG that was part of Downtown Rams. I'm blanking on his name right now. Tom.
Oh yeah.
He does a lot of spaces, man.
Tom Courts.
He's super educated about the Rams, man. Not necessarily, obviously, what happened in the game, but historical census stats, relevant stats to the season that's happening, past seasons, everything. And it's legit, man. So I think, yes, I think you should do more spaces when you can. Obviously, I know you got a lot going on. And all your shows are fun, guys. Listen to the shows, please. All of them. Stuff with Believe. This one, everything else. I mean, I'm probably forgetting others. Apologies, but yeah, man, Twitter Space would be good. But this is fun too, man. OG radio style. Call in. It's a good time.
Yeah, no, and shout out to Discord for making it just simple. Like I could just have people wait in a waiting room, and I just bring them in, and I don't have to type in this number. Nope, you can just sign up for a Discord. You're in the Discord, you're good to go. It's that simple, So that's that was what I was aiming for. But the last thing I was going to bring up before I move on here, Jonathan Taylor. Where are you on that? Because personally, I don't see the fit. I don't think it makes sense. I think it's too expensive. Where are you?
I agree with most of those points, most definitely. I just think Kyron's playing too good right now. I mean, obviously the stats. I mean, thank God he's scoring touchdowns, which it's fantastic, man. And like I said a few moments ago or minutes ago, I think he fits the gap scheme really well, man. He hits the whole fast, quick, and with power and determination was what you need in any power scheme or any gap scheme run, right? You need to hit that hole and hit it like your life depends on it, man. Every touch, every yard you get is an extra bonus money. So I think Kyron does a good job, and I think Taylor could fit that. I think Taylor obviously was a monster in a gap scheme that Wisconsin always will run, right? And he was shredding people in college football. Colts were kind of doing a mix of zone and gap, and obviously he was doing great. And I just think if the compensation is affordable, meaning fourth round and lower, which is probably not going to happen. I'm obviously saying this in a fantasy.
I would do that.
Fantasy world. I think if that's the case, I think pull the trigger 100%. I think third round and higher, I think Kyron's playing too well for us to give up that draft capital. Plus, I think Kyron's a better pass blocker, like severely better than Jonathan. I mean, Jonathan's has good moments, but his film and pass blocking situations, whether it's, slide protections where he's going one-on-one with maybe an edge rusher or a blitzing backer, whether it's max protect where he's got to read and then react to whoever's maybe starting to break through. He's not that good at it, guys. I mean, there's been good moments, but overall, I don't think he's that good. And maybe people will be like, oh, I saw this moment, I saw them. And yes, everyone has their moment. But overall, on a consistent basis, he's not that good in pass pro. And we need to protect one of the oldest quarterbacks.
You don't think Kyron's good in pass pro?
No. I'm saying Kyron is good. I think Jonathan Taylor is not. Sorry if I got that
my bad. No. I think I might have spaced out there for a second. I was wait, did you say Kyron? I was like, Kyron's one of the best pass protectors in the league. No, Jonathan Taylor might be the worst in the league. I'm not even going to lie.
Everything I said right now was about Jonathan Taylor, the Colts running back, not Kyron. Kyron, I think I started off, Kyron's doing a good job, and I went into Taylor, the little soliloquy about him.
Yeah, I was I thought I was following you, but I was like, I don't know. I'm gonna ask you, just to make sure.
Yes, good. There we go. For everybody listening, Jonathan Taylor is not good at pass blocking. Kyron is. There you go. So I think that, along with draft capital, along with him wanting to get paid, I think all that does not come together. So if the draft capital is cheap, fourth and lower, pull the trigger because he's a prolific runner of the football. If it's anything higher, not worth it because pass pro is not good, and then obviously he's want to get paid. So
yeah,
I'm not on board unless draft capital is affordable. That's where I stand.
I'm with you. And I mean, I think the Colts are going to try to work it out anyway, but I did have the feeling before this game that the Rams were going to get him, and now I'm starting to feel like maybe they don't.
Yeah, I mean, their owner is he's a salty man, as we've all seen, right? Which is why Taylor doesn't want to be a Colt. So I can see her being like, you know what, the Rams beat us, screw them. I lost to my dad's old team, because everyone forgets that his father owned the Rams for a microsecond and then traded it for the Colts, right? Ownership. So there's not saying there's bad blood, but that
that's fine.
Maybe coupled with this, bad loss by the Colts, right? Or however he wants to, internalize it. I can see him being a little salty and be like, "Yeah, we're not going to trade him to the Colts. To the Rams, who just beat us." So we'll see what happens. I mean, we'll see. But I'm happy with Kyron. I'm happy with how Ronnie Rivers ran. I think he ran with good burst today. I think he ran with good explosion. When he got his opportunities in the run game. So I'm happy with this duo so far, and I don't see a reason to be trigger happy and be like, "Oh, Taylor, all pro, let's do it." I don't see a reason for us to do that. And I think Tony Pastores, Coach McVay, I think they realize that. So that's my thoughts on that. And real quick before I get out of here, keys to win against the Eagles. Got to get Lamar Jackson back, and we just got to pass protect. If we can do that, we'll have a chance. That's all I got to say about the Philly game.
I agree. Man, I appreciate you.
Heck yeah, Jake. It's good talking with you, man. And I'll see you here. I'll see you on some Twitter spaces for sure, man. And we'll be in contact. But,
Sounds good.
Go around. Run the damn ball.
Run the damn ball. Have a good one, man.
You as well. Peace.
All right. Let's see here. Tate. Oh. That's a no. Okay. Amer, how you doing?
Hey Jake.
How's it going?
Doing good. I'm doing good. That was had my heart beating for a minute, but I'm good now.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was a fun game. It's just one of those games where you hate being a Rams fan. It happens. But yeah, I'm glad we got the win. That's all that matters. Yeah, I heard some people in here saying that Sean McVay did some things wrong, and I just want to say I think Sean McVay had like a really good coaching game.
I thought so too.
He got a little gun shy at the end of the second quarter. He got a little gun shy, and I think it's because he didn't want a momentum killer. Like Stafford has been throwing picks, and it's not all his fault, but I think he just didn't want a turnover there in the second quarter, and then guess what happens in the third quarter? Stafford gets hurt, and then boom, next play he throws an INT. But after that, we still ran the ball pretty much like as much as we did in the first half. I think it was like more than 30 carries and then 150 yards. So
yeah,
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened in overtime. I don't know if he was just numb or like drugged up or what. And then he ran for 9 yards with that bad hit.
He definitely got some sort of syringe, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Some
That's what
cortisone shot or something, because there's no way the guy goes from like a freaking crazy limp, almost just basically collapsing while he's going back to pass, and then he's running for 9 yards. To your point, that doesn't happen.
Yeah. So I'm just hoping he can get out there next week, and honestly, I think McVay did a fine job after last week. I'm not mad about the coaching at all. Raheem really gaining my respect more and more with these young players. Yeah, I got so much to say, but if you want to ask questions, I know you've been here for a while.
Yeah. No. First question. And I guess we'll kind of go rapid fire so I can, because I'm about to pass out.
Yeah. You must be tired. You've been here, and that game's been crazy. So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's just nonstop. I was streaming until like 3 a.m. last night playing Warzone. So it's on me. But all right, let's start off the first question here. How are you feeling about this team? Are you feeling like, were you feeling better after this win? You feeling worse because of the way the win went down, or are you feeling kind of the same as you did before the game?
So I've been talking a lot in your Discord this week, and I've been pretty pessimistic after that Bengals game. I was really pessimistic about this offense. About this defense. I thought after Jamar Chase,
understandable.
Going off, I thought Pittman was about to have a day against us, and then our team like really shut down. Not until the second half when the tight end started beating Hoyt, it looked really good. So I'm definitely feeling better. Also, I was a little bit of a Kyron hater. I thought maybe we had no other running backs that the team trusted. And then today, Kyron went out there, did his thing. Ronnie Rivers went out there and did his thing, so I feel better about that. Kyron did have a fumble, but I mean that was. I'm not gonna put too much on that. That was just a drop of the ball. But it's okay.
Yeah. Second and third questions here. I'm going to ask you about the quarterback spot. Stafford gets banged up. Do you want to see them go outside the organization for a quarterback? Carson Wentz, Colt McCoy, whoever, or would you rather have them sit with Brett Rippon? And then what are your thoughts on Brett Maher?
So Brett Maher, I think he's going to be just fine. He's probably streaky. I think he's a little streaky like Zerline was. So I'm okay with keeping him for a couple more weeks, seeing how that experiment works out. I've seen streaky kickers before, so it's not too big of an issue. He hit 50-yarders today, so it's not like he has a bad leg. So, but then with the quarterback thing, Jake, you've been watching the Rams since Sean McVay came in. We haven't had a good backup quarterback in I don't know how long. So I'm thinking Rippon is going to stay here. He's going to be here to stay. And then if anything, we go out and get like John Wolford off of some practice squad. And that's going to be our 3 quarterback team. I could see that.
I thought they were going to get John Wolford, by the way, when Stetson was put on the NFI. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, they're gonna sign John Wolford off the Bucs practice squad.
It would be great to see like Colt McCoy or Carson Wentz on the team as a backup, because after today, you just don't want to see Stafford get hurt, and then we have to resort to Rippon. But like, I haven't seen a good backup quarterback on this team. And Blake Bortles, maybe that was like our last good backup.
Yeah, and even he was kind of just done after that point. I think he played 1 season after that. Like, yeah. So I don't know.
I don't know. It's Carson Wentz. I don't know. It'll be cool, but I think you might be asking for too much money for a backup spot. Maybe, I don't know.
That was my thought, because they worked him out, and then they worked Rippon out, and they signed Rippon, and there's no way at all that they were like, yep, Rippon's better than Wentz. No, it's not possible. Rippon probably was a lot cheaper than Wentz. I think that's why, if you ask me, Robbie Gould wasn't the kicker, because everyone's like, well, Robbie Gould's still, he's still there because he wants a lot of money and no one wants to pay him that. That's why.
Do you see Stetson Bennett coming back this year? You think?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I think he could, but I don't. If he does, I think at this point, being away from the team this long, I don't know if he's going to start. Yeah, what I mean? I don't know if he'll be a backup. You know what I mean? I think it would just go right to Rippon, because he'd have to catch up. But yeah, man. Do you have any final thoughts?
The offensive line was really good today. I wonder what's going to happen. I think Alaric Jackson could be sitting for a little bit because he had a hamstring, and maybe we have Dotson and Noteboom might ride them for a couple weeks, and hopefully we get Kupp back. Oh, one thing. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't want to take up too much of your time.
No, you're fine.
I know that Kupp and Puka could coexist together. I'm just wondering. Like we saw it with Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham had games where he had like 2 catches for 21 yards, 3 catches for like 40. I could see that happening to Puka, but our red zone offense is going to look amazing. I think like our red zone offense is going to be fire. I don't see how our red zone offense can't score with Kupp, Puka, Tutu, and then Kyron Williams, and then Higbee. Like 5 options right there that all 5 of them could get in the end zone easy.
Yeah, I think Tutu Atwell is going to kind of shift roles a little bit and become more of a deep threat. And I think they're going to go crazy with that motion when Kupp comes back, and I think it's just going to be lethal. So yeah, and I didn't even think the red zone is just going to be that. No one's going to want to defend that. No one's going to want to defend that.
I don't think it's possible that Puka and Kupp can have like 100-yard games together. That's me personally, but the red zone
They
offense
could.
is going to be good.
They definitely could, but hey, man, appreciate you. This is, I think, the third time or second time you've been on, and means a lot, man. Appreciate you, supporting.
Yeah, I like talking Rams.
Hell yeah.
All right. I'll see you.
All right, you take care. Falco, how's it going? You're muted, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah. Hello.
What's up, man? I'm trying to kind of rip through these. I saw you were in there, and Chacho's in there. So I'm gonna ask you some quick questions here. First thing, how are you feeling about this game? Do you feel better? Do you feel worse? Or do you feel kind of in the middle?
I feel a lot better because being 2-2 is significantly better than being 1-3 on the season. So being 2-2 is a massive boost.
Oh yeah,
to our season.
No, I absolutely agree. I was very, very concerned if they went 1-3. I'm like, oh no, 1-3, and then you're going up against the Eagles. Ugh.
God, yeah.
Not good. But they're 2-2 without Cooper Kupp, and they did it without their starting left tackle.
Yeah.
And they did it, as Mr. Scamper said in the comment section, Matt Stafford is tough as hell. They did it with Stafford clearly not being anywhere near. I wouldn't even say he was 50% earlier in the game, and I think they gave him a quarter zone shot and maybe made him like 70 or 80.
Yeah. For sure.
So,
I was really, really concerned all about Stafford's health this game. I was so fearful that Rippin was going to come in, and from there the game was over, right? But
yeah.
But somehow Stafford, like he always does, just plays through it and won us that game with that amazing Puka catch, by the way. Puka was so awesome this game. 165 yards. 165. That's amazing.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
It is.
I just think he's played on just another level. What are your thoughts on the quarterbacks here? Do you think they need to go out and get somebody outside the organization on Monday, or
yes, 1,000%.
You didn't even let me finish. You're like, yep, I'm done.
Because we need a good backup quarterback behind Stafford right now. Bar none, his health is very important. So having someone who's capable at playing at this level is very important right now, because we saw how him even playing injured truly affected this game. So I'm just worried about his health long term throughout the rest of the season.
I mean, I think him playing injured greatly affected the game. It is what flipped the game. I saw people saying it flipped before he got hurt, and I say to you, the people that think that, when do you think he got hurt? Because I think he got hurt way earlier on that hit with Dio Odenigbo, and it got progressively worse.
It got worse throughout the whole game.
Yeah, and just because you noticed, just because when you noticed he was limping, that doesn't mean that's when he was hurt. He could have been hurt way earlier, which I believe is the case. So yeah, I agree with you, and I personally want Wentz or I almost say Kirk Cousins every time. I don't know why. I'm talking about Colt McCoy. Kirk Cousins is not possible. They don't have the cap for that, even if the Vikings went to trade him. Did they win today, by the way? I think they did.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they did.
That means Carolina's 0-4. Good Lord.
Yeah. Good God.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah. Well, anyway, what are your thoughts on the kicker spot? Last question here. It seems like a lot of people are out on Maher.
I mean, bad game, right? He just had a bad game, I think. It all depends on how he does throughout the rest of the season. If he still becomes inconsistent, then I think it's time to look into a new kicker. But if he proves that this was just a fluke game, then by all means, just keep him around. It really has to depend how he does on the rest of the season.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think it was, and I don't even think it was a bad game. I think it was just, he missed 2 kicks, and
Right.
those kicks weren't exactly super high percentage. But yeah, I mean, I'm thinking 12 out of 16 kicks made on the year. That's our guy. And if he goes down, okay, then you figure it out. But right now, he's the guy. I don't think Cade York is a better option. I thought that was actually a pretty good option. Maher, being even being available to begin with, because that kind of came out of the blue.
Right.
But yeah, man, I appreciate you as always, and I believe you were definitely in the stream last night, right?
Yeah, I was in the stream last night.
Yeah, I saw you. I thought I saw you. I always have to, even though I feel like I know I saw you, I always have to double check because I do so many streams. But yeah, so you saw the 2 dubs last night, right?
Yes, I did. Those are awesome.
Yeah. I was in my bag last night. We'll just say that. And if people that don't know what I'm talking about, well, I was playing Call of Duty competitively, we'll say. So that is that. But hey, Falco, appreciate you, and
You too.
You're welcome anytime, man.
All right, awesome. Talk to you later.
Sounds good. Later, my friend. Okay, last one here, and then I'm going to do the flash giveaway real quick here before I get to Chacho. If you guys have not already, definitely be sure to follow me over on kick.com/JKBogan. We are at 674 followers, YouTubers. Okay. And if you guys haven't already, hit that, and we are going to give away. It's a flash giveaway. So once I get to 700 followers, which is 16 more followers, that's all it is, I will give away a Rams hat to somebody. Okay? So just know, you want to get the Rams hat, sign up for Kick, takes 30 seconds, follow me on there. Once I get to 700, I'll monitor it. Once I get there, if I get there while we're streaming, I'll give away the hat. If not, we move. It's no big deal. But I will give away a Rams hat, and I know there's over 290 of you in here. So if one of you guys want a free Rams hat, well, there's your opportunity. Chacho, how you doing?
Yes, I'm doing great. So I want to tell the people that hate my Cowboys, look at how we look. Okay, yes, we lost last week, but look, we got back together and we did great this week.
Yeah, I saw they won 38-3. What'd you think about the Rams win against the Colts?
Oh, I was happy for you guys, but then when I heard that your quarterback got hurt, I'm like, I was hoping I would be wrong that he got hurt. I'm like, damn it! I'm like, oh my god, no.
Yeah.
Like, no, not again.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, he pushed through it, so that was cool. Now, all right, so I'll ask you 2 quick questions. I see Jack, so I'll bring Jack on as well. I was gonna get off, but I gotta bring my guy Jack on as well. All right. So two questions for you. First off, do the Rams beat the Eagles next week?
Yes, I'm gonna be rooting for the Rams. If their defense plays great like they were playing, you got a shot. But if they play horrible, I don't know if you'll win.
And then the second question, do you think they should get a quarterback to back up Stafford in case he goes down? And if so, who do you think should be that quarterback?
I would say McCoy, because I mean, unless I don't know, he's a good quarterback when he wants to be, but I don't know. Sometimes I just don't know with that quarterback.
All right, so you think Colt McCoy makes sense for the Rams?
Yes, I do.
Cool.
But the guy who said the former 49ers quarterback, Kaepernick, hey, it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the dude. I mean, he deserves a second chance. Look at what Michael Vick did, and he got a second chance. And he hasn't gotten a second chance? I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think it's more so at this point with Kaepernick. It's been 7 years, so I don't think anybody's going to bring him in. Like, he hasn't played in the NFL for 7 years, so it's like if he were to come in, I mean, I'll say this. You know, a guy who deserves a chance to start in the NFL is Kyle Sloter. My guy, Kyle Sloter. Guy who played well in USFL. He played well in the XFL before he got hurt. And, you know, he was the backup in Minnesota. He had one of the best preseasons. I really feel like he never got a fair shake. And that's the thing. I'll always put his name out there because I'll say this. I think Colin Kaepernick, like he got a shot. Like, you know, he got a chance to start. He got a chance to play in a Super Bowl. You know, and Sloter never got a chance to even start in the NFL. So I don't know. There are way too many guys like that. Adrian, thank you for the follow on kick. There are way too many guys like that I'll always like push for. Like Luis Perez, Watch Doge just mentioned. You know, guys like that, I would say. I would definitely want them to get a chance more. And it's not anything against like Kaepernick, but it's more so like veterans that played in the NFL, started multiple games in the NFL, like versus guys that never even got that starting opportunity. I mean, look at what we're seeing with, you know, Brock Purdy. I mean, no one would know what Brock Purdy could do based on the way most of these teams just trash quarterbacks. So that's what I would say about that. But that's just my opinion. You know, obviously that's how I have it. Do you have any final thoughts, Chacho?
Oh, okay. I have to ask you a question. Jake, did you unmod me? Because like I went on you know, YouTube, and then next thing I know, I don't have my mod anymore. I don't have my blue wrench.
I didn't unmod anybody, Chacho, so I don't know.
I don't know, because I was just curious. Like, did I do something wrong? Something happened to my wrench? Or like, what happened to it? Or like, was I a bad kid and got disciplined?
No, I wasn't. I didn't do anything. I'm way too
like,
busy.
I was gonna say Jake took my mod away because I cussed someone out. That's not cool. But I don't know. I was just seeing if you can fix it or what happened. I don't even know what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I can give it. I didn't know you didn't have it. It's just
I was
more
trying to get your attention. I was like, Jake, help, Jake! I don't have my mod. I was gonna joke around with Ray. Timed out because you're being sassy to me. Timed out, and then I can't time you out anymore. But
well, yeah. Okay, so someone probably pulled your mod because you were timing people out. Is that what you're doing?
Well, no. Well, someone cussed me out and said something about my mom, and I didn't appreciate that, so I timed him. I kind of banned him for that comment.
Oh, okay, but, so that's probably it though, because like mods shouldn't be banning anybody that like actually. Because I was that Fernando. I don't know who it was, but okay. Yeah, like that's the thing is that like there are a lot of people on here that have like donated to the channel and watched the channel just as much as you do. And so so
bad.
No, it's fine. I'm just saying that like that's the whole thing is that like if you want to ban, like if you see NFL streams live or whatever, you know, those spam accounts, ban them. But banning anybody that is, you know, been a member of this community since I started it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know.
Yeah.
So
no. That's fine.
That comment about my like being brainless, I didn't appreciate that neither. So that's why I gave him a timeout, but I didn't ban him. And Fernando got on me for timing him out because he was saying something about me, and I didn't appreciate that.
Yeah. All right, Chacho. Let's take this offline. Let's positive vibes.
Yep.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you supporting the channel, and you were on, you know, the kick stream, so I appreciate it. And we'll talk again soon.
Okay, cool. Bye. Have a great day.
Yep. You too. Take care.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see here, Jack. My guy, how you doing?
Dude, you knew I couldn't miss this for the world, man. This was overdue to say the least, because I've been in all the Call of Duty streams. So
Well, here's the funny thing is that some of these people don't even know who you are right now. And it's like, I literally stream with Jack just about every time I game now. Like, you're one of my go-to Call of Duty guys. And so it's funny because I'm so used to talking with you that this just feels like normal, you know? It just feels like second nature.
It's almost like it's like a podcast at this point in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. So guys, my friend Jack here, we play a lot of Warzone if you're ever interested over on Kick. That's not the only thing I do on Kick. As you guys know, I also break down films, so don't unfollow because of that. But Jack's a huge Rams fan. And Jack, how did you feel about that game? Because that was everywhere.
Emotional roller coaster, I think, is probably the best way I can describe that one, because wow. I mean, I don't even know what to think. My first thought when I look back on that game is going to be how dang good Puka Nacua is. Like, this guy, I think a lot of people, I owe a lot of people apologies, because I saw a lot of people were saying, like, he's going to be this guy. He's going to come out of the gate hot. He's going to look really good. And it's like, chill. We haven't seen him play a down in the NFL yet. And he's just over-delivered every time. And he was due for a touchdown. And to see it be a walk-off game winner, I think it would have been not the greatest circumstances, because obviously I think a lot of us would have just preferred the Rams hold on to that 23-0 lead in the first place.
That's
but
true.
At the end of the day, clutch players coming up with clutch plays, it's just a matter of, like, it was short memory, I guess is the best way I can describe it. They put their heads down and just said, all we need is this one drive to win the game. Stafford looked good despite the injury. I think I 100% agree with you that he's, like, the best player in the league, one of one, whatever it was you were saying, when it comes to playing through injuries.
I've never seen anybody play like, I mean, he was, dude, I don't get it. I don't get it. He couldn't walk. Like, okay, you could say, yeah, he got a cortisone shot. Okay, but still. Leading a 75-yard drive after that dude literally collapsed while he was going back to pass. They had to stay predominantly in the shotgun because his leg collapsed while he was just dropping back as a quarter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the type of guy. That's what we're talking about, Jack. That's literally the situation Stafford and the Rams were in. And that dude literally takes the ball to start. It goes 75 yards and wins the game. Unreal.
No one else does that. You're not going to get another quarterback that does that in this league.
No.
It's just like, it's so like one of a kind. And that's the reason why I think a lot of people were so excited when the Rams made the trade in the first place. I mean, obviously, yes, it was the immediate upgrade over Jared Goff, but it was also the whole, like, he's one of the toughest SOBs I've ever seen. It's like, he's not going to quit. He's always going to be on the sideline telling Sean McVay or whoever he's with, like, I'm good, I can throw the ball. He, like, that, it was in that clip of him leading or throwing with a separated shoulder. I was like chatting with people in your Discord chat the whole game. And I was like, this is a quarterback that has won games with a separated shoulder. If the body part is still attached, he's good. He's fine. And he just further proved that today. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say that hasn't already been said. I love what I saw out of Kyren Williams. I love what I saw out of Puka Nacua. And to think that Cooper Kupp is going to come back into this offense next week, I mean, look out.
Yeah, man, it's gotten to the point where the question isn't, is Puka Nacua? It's like, you know, is he good? The question is how good? Like, is it fair to put him in the top 20? I think it is. I mean, can you name 20 receivers that are better than Puka Nacua? Probably not.
Gonna try. I'm not gonna try.
That's the thing. Guys, thank you so much for the super chats. I'm seeing here. Apparently, it was super delayed. Super delayed. MAS boxing. The Rams should have been 3-1. I got a feeling we are upsetting the Eagles easy. That's interesting. We should sign Luis Perez and see what he can do. I wouldn't be against that either, to be honest with you. I like it more than sending Rippin out there. Thank you so much for the super chats, Antoine, as well. I clearly missed you. This is old. I don't know why they didn't give me these alerts. Maybe they did, and I was just so in my own world. Stafford showed that rookie year grit. Kyren is real. Puka is real. I agree. Thank you again for the super chats. Appreciate you. Ball in Sports. Oh, this is from 548. I apologize. Again, I never got these alerts. We need an edge bad. Who should it be? Josh Uche, Chase Young, someone else? I'm going to say Josh Uche because of the way they drop in coverage. Uche used to be an off-ball linebacker, so I think that would help. Do we bench Stafford during Eagles? Let him heal? It doesn't sound like he's going to let you do that. It does not sound at all like he's going to let you do that.
That was my point exactly. Like he's never going to say like I can't do this. Like he's always going to be fighting the play. He's going to be
That's crazy.
Just like he doesn't quit. He doesn't want to quit.
He's one of one, man. He really is. I mean, does that make him Tom Brady? Does that make him the GOAT? No, but as far as guys that have played through that amount of pain, he's one of one. Okay, I understand guys have stories like that. Stafford has story upon story upon story about that. So that's the thing. But Jack, thoughts on the quarterback? Because I just mentioned I was reading that super chat about Luis Perez. I'm sure you heard.
I like it better than.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I like it better than Carson Wentz. I'm going to be real. I know that's kind of been like the name that you've been throwing around. I don't really trust Carson Wentz that much anymore. I don't know what it is, but it's just like doesn't really feel like he has what it takes to win those big games anymore. I don't know. There's just the fact that I haven't seen him play in a long time, so I could be missing some details, but I don't know. I really hope that whatever is going on with Stetson Bennett, I hope that he's able to. I don't know how to word it, but.
Oh man.
I hope
Alex,
he's able to.
Alex just commented while you were talking. That's why I laughed. I wasn't laughing at your take, even though I highly disagree with your Wentz take. But you know I love you. Alex said, "Who's the guy you're talking to? He should be a newscaster."
He should be a news. See, this is what I get told about my mic and my voice all the time. So it's in the cards for the future, I'd say.
Oh my god.
I don't even remember the point I was making. I mean, Carson Wentz, maybe it could be worth a shot. I don't know. I agree with not trusting Brett Rippon. I just don't know if I trust Carson Wentz enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think he is leaps and bounds the best option because he has the starts last year. He has the starts 2 years ago when he threw 27 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. I think he was finding his stride. I think he went to kind of a pedestrian offense in Washington. If he's throwing a Puka Nacua in Cooper Kupp and Tutu Atwell, and he's got decent protection, Tyler Higbee, Kyron Williams, Ronnie Rivers, I like Carson Wentz to succeed in a Sean McVay offense. My point is, get him in the building now so he learns it, right? Because the thing is, like, I'm not going to say he has to, like, say Stafford can't go Sunday. I don't think Rippon would go. I think they might sign Wentz for real. And the reason I say that is because go back and look at Baker Mayfield when they claimed Baker. They started him in what? He got there 48 hours before the game?
They didn't even start him. He played you
know what I mean.
What's his name?
Yeah.
But yeah, he played most of that game. It was John Wolford. He played the first drive and then it was Baker the rest of the way. So basically the same thing.
Yeah, so that's how I see it is like, you get Carson Wentz, you kind of roll with it. You kind of improvise a little bit.
The odds of another quarterback coming in and learning the playbook and like on the plane and figuring all that stuff out within 48 hours is pretty low. It's probably not going to happen again.
To be fair, that was a Thursday night game.
Yeah,
so
that was a Thursday night game.
So he could get 4 days, Jack. He could get 4 days. Think about that.
He could.
I'm not trying to put that out there, by the way. Like, if Stafford can go and like the doctors sign him off, I'm all for it. But if he can't go, like I'm not kidding you. I'm legitimately starting Wentz on Sunday against his former Eagles team. I'm 100% doing that.
What you were saying earlier, I think, about how the Rams like didn't immediately think let's play Brett Rippon when Stafford got hurt. That kind of shows you like trust might not be there as much as we think it is.
Yeah.
Especially because like everybody figured Stetson was going to be QB2 and then whatever happened. So, I mean, we'll see. I'm again, like you said, I'm pretty sure Stafford's going to be good to go. If he's good to go, play him. Not really much of a question there. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If Stafford's good to go, play him. But if Stafford's not good to go, I'm literally signing Wentz right now. and then I'm getting him in the building on Monday, and I'm having him learn the playbook. On the way over to LA, I'm having him learn the playbook on the plane. I'm having him learn it on the drive to the facility, and then I'm just hammering the playbook in his brain and just having him go out there Sunday and playing against his former team and hoping that revenge looks something different, looks decent. I think one thing that Mr. Scampers in the comment section brought up is that, this is somebody who, or not him, Colt McCoy, he was injured, and I don't know if he's still healthy. So that's something to keep in mind there. And if he's not healthy yet, I think he had an elbow issue. If he's not healthy yet, like, that could be an issue. So, we'll see, but they already worked out Wentz, so I think he could definitely be an option. What was I going to say? Joe, thank you for the super chat there. $5. Appreciate you. One statement. I hate the 40 whiners. Got you. Your statement is out there for the world to hear it. So there you go. Jake, I want you to put the word out there that we back up.
That we back up. Let's go. Been saying that all day since COD last night.
My God. Man, I love it. It's so funny. We back up. I love it. It's how I felt. I felt like this team kind of asserted their dominance early on a short week. No left tackle. And on the road, 3 out of 4 games on the road to start the season. They dominate the first half. Then Stafford unforeseen injury happens, and the things that they were doing don't work as well. And the Colts are a good football team, so it allows them to crawl back into it. But the Rams, good football teams will win and lose these games. Great football teams just take it away at the end, and I think that's what the Rams did. And I was just saying earlier, going through their schedule, I got to be honest with you. There are 2 teams the rest of the year that are better than the Rams on their schedule, the Eagles and the 49ers. That's it. I think they could beat anybody, and I think they're better than just about anybody on their schedule except for those 2 teams. And if I'm delusional for thinking that, okay, but when you look, the Eagles game, if they win that game, they're 3-2. And then they got the Cardinals. Then they got the Steelers and Dallas. I don't think Dallas is that great. I'm not looking at this Dallas win 38-3 and panicking.
The Patriots aren't really a great team either, if I'm being real. So I didn't expect. Mac Jones, I think, got benched too. He didn't look very good.
No, it's a pissed off Dallas team at home. They just lost to the Cardinals. So
exactly, they came off that Cardinals loss. So they're not every team is invincible. I think San Francisco is eventually going to find that out too. We talk about them, we look at them like they're the most complete team in the NFL, which sure I don't disagree with, but at some point, you're not going to be able to keep this up all season. It's going to be really, really, really hard to do what the Dolphins did in 72. So
yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Let's see here. All right, guys, we got 15 more followers on Kick. I'm going to sign off soon. You can watch Jack and I play Warzone anytime. So, but also we're doing a flash giveaway. I don't know if I told you that or if you knew that.
I heard that. Yeah, I came in time to hear that.
Okay, cool.
One final thing I will say too is that I 100% agree with what you were saying earlier. These kind of games don't usually go our way, so thank God it finally happened. I was so super hyped because that felt like a loss going through until they got a defensive stop on. I don't even remember how much time was left, but you didn't think that they were going to get another possession after they punted when the game was tied, and they went on and force the 3 and out, and it was maybe they could have made it in field goal range. I don't know, but it didn't feel like it was doable. And then they toughed it out. They basically treated it like it was the Super Bowl. All they needed was that one drive at the end in overtime to clutch it out, and they got it done. I'm glad it was Puka Nacua for, again, that first touchdown was overdue. So really, really excited about the way that one turned up. I think there's an outside chance we surprise the Eagles. I don't know about a win. Might be a little tricky, but I think it's doable.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I think it's doable as well. I mean, I look at this team and I'm like, we just don't know how good this team is yet. And they already are really good. And I think that the scary thing for teams that don't get it, like, we still have no idea when Cooper Kupp gets inserted in this offense, what this offense is going to look like. It could be the best offense immediately. I mean, honestly, like, it really could, because all these teams focusing on Cooper Kupp, Tutu Atwell playing a different role. See, Atwell's playing a completely different role than what he's going to play when Cooper Kupp is back. That's what people don't understand. So you have that explosion all over the field, and then you got, obviously the ability of Puka Nacua, and then you got Cooper Kupp, who's going to garner the double teams and garner all that attention. And it's just like, man, it could be scary hours in LA. I'm just saying now all of a sudden, let's just say, like, Les Snead's like, he wants to get crazy with it. And he's like, no, we're not going to do Jonathan Taylor. We're actually going to trade for Kyle Pitts. Like, can you imagine if he did something like that? How would you stop this offense? You wouldn't. That's the answer. You wouldn't stop this offense. You would not be able to stop Kyle Pitts, Tyler Higbee, Kyron Williams, Ronnie Rivers, Puka Nacua, Tutu Atwell, Cooper Kupp. Van Jefferson is like your sixth option. I'm sorry, you wouldn't be able to stop it. It's why
I don't know what happened to Van Jefferson this year, by the way. Like, I think he'll be able to bounce back eventually, but
that fourth down catch was massive.
It was. I'm not saying he's not there. He's making some catches. It's not like he's not existent, but his role definitely isn't as big as I probably thought it was going to be.
It was a weird year. A weird game, because if like Stafford goes for 319 and Puka Nacua has 163 of that, but I think we were going to see more of like Puka Nacua goes off, sure, but I thought we were going to see like maybe Atwell goes for 80, Higbee goes for 60, Van goes for 50. Like, it would have been more sprawled out, but I think because of the injury, it changed a lot of what they wanted to do, because Stafford was picking apart the zone to start the game. And then again, that injury kind of flipped things. So hopefully he's good to go for next week. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to follow on Kick. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe on YouTube. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button on YouTube. I think we're going to wrap it up here, because I am tired. My body's telling me, hey, Jake, like, you're putting out too much content. You have to manage it or you're going to burn out. And I don't want to listen to it, but I only got like 2 hours of sleep, Jack. Full disclosure, we probably should have kept going.
It's telling you that your body's telling you got to get some rest so we can play some more later. So
yeah, plus I got Spider-Man 2 comes out October 20th. We got plenty of Rams stuff. I got some content, some things I'm working on in the background, so a lot of different things. But appreciate you hanging out. Jack, as always, appreciate you, man.
No problem.
Almost 3 hour mark. Should we stay for 3 hours? I think we should. It's only fair, right?
I'd say so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying 3 more hours.
yeah, 3 more hours. Yeah, definitely. We'd have to run back Warzone in that case, but no.
Yeah, no, but everyone that is in here right now that has not followed me on Kick, go and do that right now. And the reason I say that is because I am giving away here's the challenge. You guys got 2 minutes. Once the clock strikes 8 p.m., I'm logging off. You guys got 2 minutes. Get 15 people in there, and I will flash give away a Rams hat to one lucky person in the chat. Okay? So what you're going to do, if you want to be a part of it, is you're going to go over there. You're going to follow... Right? I did link it in the YouTube chat. I'm a Rabu. Go to bed, bro. So the chat, so it's in the pinned section of the chat on YouTube. Go follow me on Kick. Once I get to 700, I need 15 more followers. Okay, we do all 22 over there Wednesday or Thursday. I think it'll be this week because I'm going out of town Tuesday. All 22 over there. I game over there as well. And you can also catch these shows over on Kick if you ever want to watch them instead on Kick. So here's how you do it. You follow on Kick. And then if you want the Rams hat, drop a comment after you followed saying, I followed or followed. And I'm going to pick from people that followed the instructions. So... I'll wait for you guys. It's actually 8 already because it took me forever to say all that. So I'll wait for you
Long
guys.
explanation.
15 more. All right. Guys want the Rams hat. I will literally give it away right on the spot. I do not care. Let's see. We should do Warzone later on Kick. If I'm awake, yes, I'll consider that. But I probably should rest because I only got 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah, and I was gonna say in that case, you probably should sleep so that you can be awake in time.
Yeah,
I'm in the mood to run it back. We ended that last session on some pretty good games. That was some fun times.
Yeah, that was definitely fun. I love that.
And then you follow that up with the Rams winning in overtime. Like, my heart rate is not okay right now.
Oh, I know. Because the only thing that even matches that is like the throbbing of your heartbeat when you're one of the final alive in Warzone. What's up, Ricardo?
Watching overtime in the Stanley Cup final when your team is playing also comes close.
Oh yeah, playoff hockey's brutal.
Yeah, it's not healthy.
Although,
we subject ourselves to torture as sports fans.
I will say, as you can see, I'm pointing over there, guys, to the Vegas Golden Knights little banner there. That was a little bit easier for me because I just felt like they were so much better. So
that was me all the way back in 2012 with the LA Kings. They went like 16-4. Like everyone knew they weren't going to lose that. So,
yeah, it's
I can relate.
Yeah, I just felt really good about Vegas. I felt really good about the Devils too. I mean, I like both teams, as you guys know. So, Jets. Oh man, I'd love to do a watch party, but I would die. Just straight up, like
he's got to get his rest.
Yeah. At the very least, relax. And this chair. See, I had to mention it.
There he goes with the chair. The
chair is awful. It wasn't, but it broke, and like nothing is in the right spot. So I got a back pillow propping me up, and I'm always in a weird position. I got my awesome Hayworth Fern chair coming in, I think next week. I am going to be very, very happy and comfortable every stream. I might have more. Falco's like, you had to mention the chair. Why would I not mention the chair? Joe, the instructions were follow on Kick, JK Bogan. When you hit that follow button, you're not sure how to follow. Are you on my channel, JK Bogan? Because you follow on Kick, and then you drop a comment on YouTube saying you followed, and I'll pick from you guys. Okay, so the follow button should be, if you're on mobile, let me see what it looks like. God, it's painful to have directions and stuff because it's like people see things so differently. Okay,
People just aren't used to Kick, so I'm just gonna say right now, get used to Kick. It's taken over.
Okay, so it should be underneath my avatar. God, I don't even know how to explain this. It's brutal. It's brutal out here. Oh, so I got one follower there, Jen the Mithra. Appreciate the follow. Botrix must be sleeping because Botrix didn't even say, oh, thank you. Okay, Jen, you were in there. Yeah, if you already follow, then you just put followed or I followed or whatever, and I'll pick through you guys. Okay. Followed. So we need 14 more. Once I hit 700, I'll do the giveaway. 14 more followers. What's up, Deb? You went to the game? That's awesome. Stafford looked rough on the sideline. Yeah, he didn't look like he was in good shape. But
I mean, I'm sure it can't have been too pretty recovering from a hit like that.
No. I'm sure he wasn't like, yo, this is so fun. He's just sitting there like writhing in pain. Yeah, no, this is what it's all about, bro. This is what it's all about. Can't find you on Kick. Just put in kick.com/JKBogan, or if you're on the app, just search JK Bogan. That's my username. The giveaway is for a Rams hat. I leveled up to level 4 on my own stream. How does that work?
Only level 4. Get good.
Get good. How do you enter, cool bro? You follow on Kick, and then you comment below once you followed. You say followed on YouTube. Let's see. Oh, there's my raspy voice coming. See, I knew it was only a matter of time. 14 left, y'all. I got 14 viewers. I have 14 followers away. No, you got to sign up, cool bro. A lot of these people don't have Kick, and they're signing up. It takes 30 seconds.
By the way, I think you mentioned the whole kicker thing too. I'm good with Brett Maher. I mean, today was such a weird day. Like, he was making kicks from outside 50, but then when he was between 40 and 50, he was missing. It's like,
oh yeah.
Well, that was such a weird, like, I don't know, but he's you kept saying it when he's like what, 12 for 16, whatever it is. He's fine.
Yeah, no, I'm not at all worried about him. Joe, I'm on Kick, but how do I follow? If you're on my channel, it should be underneath. So you have like my picture and it says JK Bogan. It should be like either to the side. If you're on computer, it'll be the sidebar. It'll just say follow. It should be next to like gift sub or something. I don't know how to explain it because I can't see. Like, that's the problem. I think I'm explaining as well as I can.
I think you're doing an okay job.
That is another one. McBong. Once again, Botrix is just not doing anything, I guess. 13 left, man. Yeah, Matt Gay missed a field goal, and that, that cost a lot of money because they pay him $6 million a year. Isn't that fascinating?
He's like the. I would not have expected that out of a guy who was like 4 for 4 on 50+ yard kicks the other week. Like,
yeah,
I was pretty surprised when that happened. I was just, that's what made me think like it's just gonna be one of those days for the Colts. I don't entirely think that the Stafford injury was the only thing that was changing the game, because it's the whole, I don't even know where the saying is from, but it's the whole thing about like, if we score, we might win. If they don't score, we can't lose. The defense just needs to keep them out of the end zone. So defense definitely could have stepped up in some areas, but also a lot of ticky-tacky flags too, I should say. Like there was a lot that was not great, but that's just the NFL at this point, and it's basically what I've come to expect. So
yeah, no, I feel that. I mean, taking away the strip sack and then not showing on the review of it, I don't know, that was annoying.
I think Byron Young got held pretty obviously on a touchdown too.
Yeah,
like you can see him trying to come around the edge, and he's getting his shoulders being pulled by the O-lineman, and it's like, how do you miss that?
Someone commented,
but then they can see Tyler Higbee somehow drop the ball.
I can't, man. Someone commented on one of the Off the Edge shows that Cam and I did. It was like, we need to sign Taylor Rapp to a max extension. So I was like, wait, what? I don't even know what he did, but like the fact that this dude came out and was like max extension, I'm not expecting that. Like, what? That's kind of funny. Good Lord.
Shout out to Jordan Fuller, too. He had that takeaway in the first half.
Yeah, I listed him as a one of the losers, which is awesome because I had to do winners losers on Bleacher Report, and I forgot about that because I was thinking about the 2-point conversion where like he totally, and I'll be honest with you, Jordan Fuller's not great in coverage. Like he's just not. Like he is a run support safety. That's what he is, and that's fine. But like that play, the 2-point conversion where, you know, he's gotta read that. He's gotta be, you know, there for Richardson. He's gotta let Ahkello Witherspoon cover Pittman. You know what I mean? And I feel like he I don't even know what he was doing, but it didn't work out very well, essentially. So yeah. Because that 2-point conversion, if they miss that, I mean, completely different ending.
Totally different circumstance if they miss that. They're not even, you know, they're not. We're just playing to run out the clock at that point. We're not trying to get in the field goal range and score. So.
Sono Frams, appreciate you with the follow. Got 12 more. 12 away from being able to give this hat away. By the way, the hat giveaway, I don't actually have the hat. I will buy it for you. And it could be any hat that you want on Fanatics Rams hat. So that's and I wish it wasn't Fanatics because quite honestly I don't like them, but it is. that is all I can work with.
As a hockey fan, I'm very, very upset that they're the ones that are going to be taking over. Like they're making like the actual.
Oh no,
jerseys.
that's awful. That's terrible.
That's terrible. Yeah, they're taking. So like for the first few years, they're taking over the Adidas factory, and then after that, that's when we might look into like new materials or whatever stuff like that. It's a 10-year deal though, so I'm not loving it.
I see. That's awful. Cryptotonic, how you doing? I don't know if it was Fuller's fault or the cornerback. It looked like it was Fuller's because Witherspoon had the wide receiver, but then the safety goes out there and he needs to be on Richardson there. He wasn't covering anybody, you know. So, well, he needs to at least be covering the tight end. Because Richardson is being covered essentially by, not covered, but you know what I mean. There's somebody on him, and then, yeah. That's what I mean, the wide receiver underneath. So yeah, he was covering grass, essentially. Fuller. You got kicked, but you don't know how to enter? Oh, yeah, Alexis is very happy with that Kyron Williams performance, for sure.
Yeah, I figured she'd be pretty hyped about that. I know how excited she was when we drafted him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, our whole stream glitched out, remember? That was pretty crazy. They did. You're absolutely right, old man McNoob. 100% right. All right, guys. 12 more followers on Kick. That's what we need. But it is 8:14, so I'm not going to be on here all night. We could do it next time.
You got to get your sleep so we can play Warzone.
Yeah, we can do it next time. That's fine.
All right. I'm going to bounce out of here and let you wrap things up. Pleasure
Sounds
talking
good,
as
man.
always.
Appreciate you.
No problem. Go Rams. Let's get them next week.
Sounds good. You be well, Jack.
You too. Catch you later.
All right, later. That's crazy. Cooper Kupp got his first touchdown against the Colts. Oh, that makes sense because that was the rookie. That was Sean McVay's first game as a coach. It was 44-6. That's crazy. Oh, guys. I'm running on fumes here, so I think I'm going to call it 12 away. Next time I go live, if we're at 700, I'll do a flash giveaway. Appreciate that, cool bro. Peyo's great. Great guy. I enjoyed collaborating with him. Yeah, I'm going to take a nap. I'm exhausted. All right, guys. I will do the giveaway next time, and that's okay. We'll do it next time. I'll see you guys soon. I need to go get my rest, or at least just relax. This chair is just really uncomfortable. I had to mention the chair again. But yeah, I'm going out of town Tuesday, so I'm sure that'll be the time the Rams drop a ton of stuff. Mr. Belton, thank you for following me on Kick. So that's 11 left. But yeah, I'm going to call it a night. Next time, 700. Once we get to 700, I'll do a flash giveaway. Same thing once we get to 800 and then 900 and then 1,000 and then so forth. We'll just, we'll give away stuff. Sound good? All right, cool. All right. I'll see you guys. You guys take care. Later, folks.